And we are live for the greatest spectacle in offline racing. Welcome, everybody. If you don't know who I am Robert Ionescu, and alongside me, we have Joseph Willis and Rahul Patel, just like yesterday. And welcome to Marion County, Indiana, in the city of Indianapolis, for, like I said, the greatest spectacle in OC history. Let's see what's going to happen today. We've got 42 drivers and 500 miles, 200 laps of action. And here we are, onto the grid. Welcome, guys. How are you doing, you two?
Hello. Very well indeed. Definitely looking forward to this. Could it be the last Indy 500? Well, hopefully not, because we're hoping there's no chaos today, but let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we can get back next year. Future is all up in the air, of course. It's a little bit gray, but right now we're not thinking about the future. We're thinking about this race, which is gonna get going not too long. We got the start sequence, and who just exited our call? Was it Ra? Well, looks like it. Nevertheless, before the start, when the start sequence, before it gets underway, we're gonna read you guys through the grid. But yeah, who are we missing right here?
I think it was Ra, yeah, because I'm still.
Oh, all right, Ryan's here as well, but he hasn't said a word just now. Maybe he has some issues with the mic or something. Yeah, he's left again, and he's gonna rejoin again in a couple of seconds, I think. Nevertheless, Joe, qualifying yesterday was quite entertaining, and now Joe's left as well, so I'm left alone. And now Ryan's back, and Joe should be back very shortly as well. Is Discord crashing for all the British people in the world, or what?
It's our internet for some reason. Wait, hold on.
All right. Well, Joe isn't here right now. We'll wait for him to get back. All right. All right. Well, we have 180 seconds. We might as well get going. Yesterday, after an intense qualifying session, Shahin took pole position, and this time without getting any toe in the fast 10. He just set two incredibly impressive laps, both of which could have given him pole, but they have. Welcome back, Joe. And there's Joe-Pedro Kirby in second place. He'll be hoping he can take that lead when he gets to turn one. Halil Shahin is in first, of course. Will Parrish is in fourth behind Shimon Mutka. Shimon Mutka is in third, if I'm not mistaken. There's Joseph Willows in P6. And in front of him is Santino Andrioli. Link Campana is in P8. It looks a little bit weird like this, I know. Blake Moore is in P7, if I'm not mistaken. Or Nathan Ormond is next. And then after Nathan Ormond, it is Bartosz Klos. After Bartosz Klos, it is Danos Vodrukas, the previous pole sitter in P11, and Daniel Adventure in P12. After that, we've got Jonathan Martins, followed by Zachary Fitzwater. I don't even know what position we're in anymore. We have Bella Newerville, and then is Daniel Fraser. And I'm going to let Joe do the next ones, and then Rach will do the last ones.
Where do you want me to go up to for clarity?
You can stop at P30 or something like that. You can decide, but we need to hurry up.
In 17th place we have Julius Anderson. P18 is Jake Tilsley, followed by Thomas Cassidy, who's in P19. Then it is Mohammed Usman Hamid in 20th. Adam Wolf is 21st, with Franco Lopez in 22nd position. Andrei Sazonov 23rd, with Dominic Ticelli 24th. Mohamed Razin in 25th. Tobias Kress in 26th. Xavier Wee 27th, with Amar Kar 28th. Dennis Graff in 29th. Michael Mocho in 30th, and you can do the rest, Ra.
Yep. 31st, Benz Vardinger, Gabriel Gomez in 32nd, Samatosk in 33rd, Robert Ionescu in 34th, Maxim Titkov in 35th, with Franco Gabba in 36th, Rahul Patel in 37th, with Joseph Frederick Suto in 38th, Evan Byrne in 39th, with Tonchanak Chalchinat in 40th, with Florian Volk in 41st, and Enes Prajki in 42nd.
Two former winners on the back row. Well, not on the back row, in the last three I should have said. But yeah, this should be a very entertaining affair. Shahin, of course, did cause a crash in qualifying, or I should say was involved. The crash for 4 or 5 people, but you don't get any penalties in here. And I think everybody's moved on from that. Start sequence will begin in about 20 seconds or so. So then, guys, what do you think? Give me your predictions, not for the end of the race, but for the start of the race, rather. Who do you think is going to lead into turn one?
I think Shahin will hold on to the lead, but you'll never know, of course. It could go any way, really, into that first corner. Hopefully, not too much carnage, which is what Yuri's hoping for.
It's time for the number one command in motorsport.
Here we go, then.
As the drivers start their engines, Mark. The start sequence is underway. It'll be one lap behind the safety car. After that, we're gonna get going for 200 laps of racing action. Don't forget, of course, if this is your first time watching, this is the only race in the OC fraternity where there is the safety car, because it's not on the Grand Prix 4 game and it's impossible to mod it in. But it is there in our 2003, so we're gonna have the safety car for this race. Hopefully not too many times.
Indeed so, but we're about to get underway very soon as the pace car will peel in, and the 5th annual
It's time
OC
to
Indy
get
500.
racing.
Here we go, then.
Let's see who's going to take the lead into turn 1. 200 laps of racing action here in Indiana are underway now. Shahin has already been passed around the outside, but can he take the lead into turn 1? Looks like he just about can, but it's still looking quite close. Don't forget, it's important to stick to that lead group as long as you can. This should be a nail-biter of a race. Mutka is already up in the second place, again great in the slipstream. You don't want to be caught high on the outside, because you're inviting yourself to lose a lot of positions there, my guys.
Indeed so, as Kirby retakes second place there. Shahin already creating a gap as a result of those lot fighting for second place, as they all make their way through pretty well indeed. So far keeping it clean, but this is Indianapolis, of course. Anything can happen.
Indeed so. Shahin may be pulling away for the moment, but you need to be very, very mindful just how powerful slipstream is here. We've got the safety car already for a crash with Ben Wallinger. Is it just him, or did he clip somebody else?
Clip someone else, but he's the only one that's the culprit. It was with Samet Oskin in the Team Penske car. But like Oskin was a little bit too aggressive there, going through into turn 4 there.
Yeah, indeed. I wonder if Ben Wallinger can get back into the race. But even if he does, yeah, he's gone back into the race, but I think he has some damage. Safety car has gone out, though, of course. So we haven't even had a full lap of green flags.
Luckily, it doesn't seem like he's got major damage. We'll have to wait and see, though, if he comes back to the pits, though. But so far, only one major casualty, and we're only on lap 2 of the race.
Yeah, indeed. The laps can take back quite quickly here. But these first few laps are going to be rather slow.
Indeed so, as Shahin, after building up that lead he had in the early part, he's going to have to do that all over again with Kirby once again on the backside. What ended them coming to the pits, though? That's going to be the question. I think there are some peeling to the left. You can see that Kirby's going slightly left, and I think there are some coming into the pits, and Shahin is not one of them.
This looks like either a very brilliant or a very silly strategy call. It's only lap 2, but we got some people coming in. The race leader is now one of them.
Yep.
Joseph Willows is also not one of them either, as it looks like Willows has stayed out.
Bojokas is also out on track, but we got so many people in the pits here, look.
Looks like Ionescu and Patel have stayed out as well, judging from the colours that are going past there. But Kirby's coming in for Chip Ganassi Racing, and as Rob said, this could either go well for them or it could go down the toilet for them.
Well, they will get back to the back of the queue, of course. But in my opinion, you've just thrown away a huge number of positions by coming in like this. What's the point? You still have as many stops remaining to do as the other drivers. So why come in now?
Oh, we'll have to wait and see, of course, but it seems like a big portion of the pack have come into the pits this lap. Obviously, some have stayed out, but of course, the benefit of being on these tyres now is the fact that they'll have a little bit more fresher tyres than the ones who have stayed out on track, so maybe they could use that to their advantage. Question is, though, I do want to know if Bence Waldinger is perhaps retired. He's in the pits now, but is this going to be for retirement, or is this just a tyre stop? It looks like it was just a tyre stop.
He's at the tyre stop.
Yep, so Waldinger, I think it's fair to say, very lucky to not sustain any major damage from that collision with Samet Oskin.
Yeah, indeed, but we'll have to wait and see how his car handles during green flag racing. Because usually, even if you're taking some minor damage earlier in the race, your pace is permanently compromised. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
I wonder if these guys will pit this lap or will they stay out? That's going to be the question because the safety car is still going to be pacing around. You can see the lights on the top are still on. Let's see. Are any of them peeling to the right like we saw a little bit earlier with Kirby? It doesn't
to
look
left.
like it. They are sticking to the wider line going through the final turn. So it looks like they're all going to stay out and looks like they're going to lead the pack when the safety car pulls into the pits.
Yeah, so it seems, and you have to ask, what was up with that strategy call from the others? What do you think, Raw?
Could be a gamble. They will have to take advantage with the pace car, of course, but you never know. No, even though they have
it's
one
only
lap
one
pressure
lap
tires,
pressure tires.
not really major.
Yeah, not major at all, but it can, if it adds up over 40 or 50 laps or the stink length is, maybe that little difference can make the difference if you have the pace to weave your way through the pack. But who knows really, because these guys have dropped a number of places, and Corby is the number 38, isn't he? He's down in P9.
He is the number 38, I believe, yes. He's obviously the 38 Chip Ganassi car. So at the moment, the top 10 is Shahin, Willows, then it is Fujiukas that is in third position, then it's the 24 that currently lies in fourth position. Then in P5 is the number 10 car, which I believe is, in fact, I don't know who the number 10 is. I know who the 010 is, but not the actual number 10. Then it is Ionescu in 6th, then Patel in 7th place, then in 8th position, and the number 34, we have Joseph Frederick Suto, then it is Joa Pedro Kirby, and then it is Will Parrish who rounds out the top 10 at the moment. The lights are still on the safety car, but I am expecting it to come into the pits this lap.
Yeah, probably so. Along the fuel strategy, what do you think, guys? Because obviously, you're going to need a whole lot of fuel saving to reduce your number of stops by 1 from this point on. And I really think they got it wrong on the fuel strategy. On the tire strategy, though, that is another matter. For the drivers to have
Indeed
pitted.
so. And it looks like the pace car is actually staying out for another lap because the lights have not gone out on that yet. So looks like we're going to be going around for at least another lap, it seems, which is a bit of a surprise to me because usually, whenever we've had these races, it usually is around 2 laps, not 3 laps. So a bit of a surprise this one is.
Yeah, I'll echo that statement, Joe. It's quite shocking. No, not shocking, wrong word there, but it's quite unusual. Looks like the drivers up front are going to get to, actually all the drivers are going to get an extra lap of fuel saving, and that could influence the strategy, of course, when you get to later in the race.
Indeed so, as they continue to pelt around behind the safety car. Surely it has to be this lap. It comes into the pits. Yeah, the lights are off, so it will be this lap that the pace car will be coming into the pits.
Yep, indeed, Shahin lost the lead on the run to turn 1, then he got it back immediately, and then he led until the pace car dropped, and he'll be leading when the pace bar comes into the pits. So this will be interesting. This caution is about to end, and racing is about to begin, and the pack has been shaken up already.
Indeed, but the question is, will we get any more chaos? And the question is, hopefully we can get a little bit more. Can we hopefully get a little bit more further than what we had, which was about what 1.5 laps, was it?
I think it was just 1 lap. Nevertheless, let's hope we can stay green for longer. As we're on the back straight, halfway done with this lap, and I can't wait for the racing to resume here.
He's just coming down this back straight now, and then we'll just go around these final 2 turns, and then we'll see the pace car peel into the pits, and then we will get the race back underway, hopefully for a lot longer than the previous time.
Yeah, let's hope so. I have to ask you, Rob, do you think Willows will gun for the lead immediately and try to attack Shine as soon as we go green? I'm not asking you, Joe, because I already know your opinion on that.
He might. There is a chance, but then again, Shahin has to dictate the pace for now once the pace car comes in.
Yeah, indeed. And it's a whole lot of hungry drivers trying to take a bite of the leadership cake, is what I'd like to call it. And that cake currently is on Anil Shahin's table. He's been leading this entire race, and as the pace car comes in, he will resume the race from P1 as we're about to go green once again in Indy. Waiting for him to accelerate. There we go. Green, green, green.
Shahin's got a very good launch. Willows hasn't been able to react to that. Meanwhile,
Vojokas is under pressure. Meanwhile, Patel's attacking UNESCO, but Vojokas has been caught napping a little bit here.
He has indeed, and now he's under pressure from 2 Chip Ganassi cars, of course. There's 5 Chip Ganassi cars in the field, let's not forget. And one of them is at the front, 2 of them are trying to attack this Coca-Cola racing car. We saw one dart in the pits, which was Kirby, and I'm not sure where Titkov is at the moment. He's in the 93 Chip Ganassi.
We got a move from the blue car there. He's gone for into turn 3. Onescu and the Dacia Vegeta is trying to get involved in as well. He's going to go underneath and up into 5th place.
Indeed so, as Willow's actually dropping back a bit more. So Shahin doing exactly what he did on the first start and basically pulling away.
He's controlling the pace quite brilliantly right now. So you have Tobias Crest trying to pressure Vojokas for 3rd, sorry.
Yes, indeed, as Willows has actually got the gap to Vujica, so it does seem like the top 2 are going to be a little bit lonely at the moment. But we've got a little bit further than what we had done on the previous one, as Ionescu now trying to attack the track. Who I think that is, who is the number 10 car?
It's Crest.
It's Tobias Crest, as Crest tries to get underneath. That's a bit of contact there with Vujiukas, but luckily nothing serious, and he gets through into P3 a little bit aggressive.
Shave.
Ionescu now tries to get underneath as well into P4. Can he get the move done on Fujiukas? Side by side they go, and look at all this lot. Got all this lot that's following by as well. You got Patel in there as well, and a couple of others.
Yeah, indeed. Patel's gonna try to hang back behind these guys. Further back we can this battle.
Someone just come out of the pits there. That's Dennis Graf. So something has happened to Graf and this stint, unless he's just made an early pit stop. I'm not 100% sure, but he's a lap down regardless.
That must be it. Warlinger dropping off the pace quite massively in the meantime, it looks like.
Well, look at this. Willows is now closing up onto Shahin now, so he's now got his foot down. He's now trying to pressurize the Turkish driver.
Yeah, he's gonna go for it. I thought he was gonna go for it right away, but looks like he's been keeping us waiting for this one. And Shahin has led the entire race, but he might lose the lead now.
Let's see, is Willow's going to try and make a move into the first turn. He's going to hang back for the moment. No gap has opened up going through the corner. Will he try?
Maybe he's going to try to get beneath him in 2.
Thinking about it, he's looking underneath. It's getting quite tight. That's a bit of a squeeze there, but I think Willows might have it on the exit. Has he got the lead as they go side by side down towards turn 3? It looks like he might have the legs on Shahin, and it looks like Willows might have got it, has he? Let's just see if Shahin can come around the outside.
Yes.
Which he can't. Willows up into the lead of the race.
That was an incredible move, especially just how ballsy he was going for into turn 2, so close to point of contact. But now, Shahin is left hanging out to dry. He'll be under pressure from Crest and Ionescu attacking.
Indeed so, as they now make their way down the straight. Willows trying to create a bit of a gap as he can, as we've had a second leader of this race now then as a result. Or was it the third leader? I can't exactly remember off the top of my head.
Well, the second lap leader, but if you want to count Corby leading for less than a corner, sure, but Willows is the second lap leader.
Meanwhile, Cress is now starting to get onto the gearbox of Shahin, and meanwhile, looks like Patel is having to fend off a little bit from Daniel Fraser. That's the number 24 target Chip Ganassi car. That's Daniel Fraser that's trying to attack Patel. Was that a yellow I just saw there? It is. We've got another pace car.
Caution, and there's been a big crash, and there's an engine failure for Jake Tilsey. Another collision there.
Volker
he's in trouble. He's hit the debris there, but Thomas Cassidy is in trouble.
Indeed so, and I'm trying to figure out who the yellow car is. I think that might be...
Isn't that Xavier Wee? Or Zachary Fitzwater? One of the two, I think.
I think it might be Fitzwater, because I think Wee has got green on his car, if I'm not mistaken. And it is Fitzwater, I believe. It is Fitzwater.
Yeah.
Oh, he's had a big wreck.
Yeah,
and it looks like it was with Jake Tilsley in the Penske car.
So it wasn't an engine failure, but my goodness me, what was he thinking there? Trying to get beneath him onto the curbing, and there was absolutely no grip there, and a big collision. And then he's careered into from behind, but the drivers were unable to avoid.
One of them was an Andretti car that got involved. That's Simon Mutko. He's out of the race, as there was a collision there between Oskin and Fitzwater. Of course, Cassidy going around there.
I think Volker ran into the back of one of these two.
He ran into the back of Fitzwater.
Has he got any serious...
Volker in the orange McLaren.
Yeah.
It was Volker, but the question is, has he sustained any major damage? I wouldn't be surprised if he's got wing damage.
Yeah, he's lost part of his front wing there after that second collision.
Is that worthy of a retirement? That's going to be a question.
In the meantime, Willows
And most of these, of course, let's not forget, didn't pit the first time around. And just to clarify the retirements, the number 3, Samet Oskin, is out of the race. The number 17, that's Adam Wolf, he's out of the race. Jake Tilsley's out of the race with a camshaft failure. And then the number 5 car has also retired from the race. That's Zachary Fitzwater. So 4 retirements in this race, 38 cars remaining.
Corby's coming in again, isn't he? I didn't see him out on track.
Wonder if most of the pack are pitting this lap. That's going to be the question mark. I wonder if some are deciding to take advantage of this and go for a second stop just to be on the safe side.
Nevertheless, with hindsight, this was a decision to pit early on at the start of the race. This makes it seem like a terrible decision because everybody's coming in once again now.
Yes, indeed. So let's see who's going to come out first out of all this lot. And who's come out the pits first of all? So that is...
It's just Frank Soto.
Soto is taking advantage of this. Kirby has got himself shot back to the front.
Parrish is side with Patel, yeah.
That's Ionescu. Then it's Willows.
He's jumped Willows.
Willows has dropped down to 6th after leading for quite a bit. Fraser has gained a few places. Cress has dropped back, as is Shahin.
Shahin lost quite a lot.
Yes, indeed, as they'll all make their way towards the back of the pace car now then. But we're on lap 12 of the race, and it looks like Jose Frederic Suto is going to be the brand new race leader.
Yep, so it seems, and quite a lot of tire marks there, to be honest with you. But isn't it nice? All 3 of the commentary crew are next to each other on the track.
Yep.
Yes. But imagine the coincidence if all 3 of us wreck each other.
Then it will be your funeral.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
I think it probably will be indeed. But anyway, they're all now forming behind the pace car now then, and we'll be hopefully getting ready quite soon for the second restart.
Yeah, indeed. Corby and all the others made a bad decision by coming in first, but especially Corby. It seemed like he was going to lose a lot from that initial pit stop, but somehow he's finding himself back in the second place with some great pit work from his team with that second stop.
Last time I checked, Hyan, Ray Hall is not me. Okay, I am not 2 people.
What's this about?
AW and Joe are the same person, Hyan.
Oh my god.
The same person. AW stands for Joseph Willows. Come on.
I think he's saying us 3 need to take a nickname. Like what? As a group?
What?
Let's just go for the commentary crew. I think that works best. That works best.
Robert Willonescu? I don't know.
I would rather starve to death.
Crap at nicknames.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Vedo there. Vedrina is also in the chat, and Maximus is as well. Quite a lot of people. It's very nice.
Unless he's referring to the Josh Total character I used to run a long, long time ago on my old YouTube channel, but yeah, that's kind of that, really.
I wouldn't... I don't think he means that. And he's saying, if I'm a commentator, I wouldn't say Kwok Jia Chung. You should, because you need to keep objective. You need to refer to we refer to ourselves in third person as often as possible. Not all the time, just as often.
Yes. But anyway, back to the action. So for anybody who's just joined us, of course, we've got 4 retirements now, and we only have 38 cars left. Currently behind the pace car, which is the second time it's come out. It makes you wonder how many we are going to get today. I know that I think somebody is actually keeping count of that in the stream chat. So
I believe that would be Dennis.
As he always does. He does keep track of a lot of things, does Dennis. In fact, if you go on Discord, he usually picks up the subtitles that are usually there whenever the highlights come out, because they come out with some very interesting subtitles for the drivers when George reads out the grid.
And my name is especially funny, especially in those older videos.
Yes. It's kind of a bit of a meme in the OC, it's fair to say.
Yeah, of course. It's on the OC Quotes channel all the time. So if you're on our Discord, go and check it out. Not now, because you got this race to check out. But when you're done, pay OC Quotes a visit.
Yes, indeed. And I would not be surprised if Dennis, after like a few hours after this stream is finished, he'll be probably putting subtitles for the time that we read out the grid. We'll have to wait and see on that. But anyway, the pace car is coming in this lap. As you can see, they say the pace car lights are off, which means we will be going green next lap.
Can I just say this has been an incredible bargain for Patel and UNESCO in particular. They started towards the back and are now, P4 and P5. They got the strategy spot on with the cautions, not waiting for the first one and waiting for the second one.
Indeed. So, anyways, the drivers now exit turn number 2 now. Then it will be very interesting to see what Suto can do from the front of the field. He's got Kirby, who's just behind. Of course, Kirby did leave quite briefly at the start of the race, but obviously then started to drop back from Shahin before the first pace car came out. Let's see what he can do now, especially given that he's pitted the second time, basically as a bit of as a precaution, really. Took advantage, boosted himself back to the front. It'll be interesting to see if he can try and jump Suto at the start.
Absolutely. Though we haven't seen much of what Suto can do in clean air. We haven't actually seen much of him at all before he took the lead. But nevertheless, if you missed what happened so far this race, at the end of lap 1, Ben Svalinger was on the collision. Nobody retired, but that triggered the caution. A lot of people pitted under the caution, but not all of them. And then at around lap 10, there was another caution for a big crash in which 4 people retired. And now that caution is about to come to an end. And just for Soto, the new race leader, will head the pack onto lap 15 and onto a second green flag green flag period.
Indeed so, and
here we go. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it rhymed nevertheless. It's go time, and Kirby has a brilliant launch. He's already very close to Bako Soto. I don't think he'll be getting him into turn 1 anytime soon.
But he could try and find a pocket into the first corner, which he's going to try to see if he can try and way through into turn 2, but it didn't quite work out. Looks towards the outside as they now make their way through turn number 2. As meantime, just behind, looked like Patel is trying to attack Will Parrish just in front, but it looks like Parrish has started to create a bit of a gap, as well as he's trying to attack Ionescu as well. As now we make our way towards the final 2 turns.
Here goes Kirby.
Going underneath Suto. Can he get the move done? Underneath goes the Brazilian, as Parrish will keep an eye on behind as well. He's pulled a bit of a gap.
He's going to go underneath him.
He's done it. Kirby now takes the lead here at the Indy 500, and Parrish now wants to try and get underneath him as well, which I think he's going to.
Yeah, indeed. Ionescu and Patel scrapping for P4, but Parrish is going to go for the lead here, I think.
Going to think about it, but Kirby shuts the door. Meantime, in the background, that's Ionescu getting by on Patel. He looks like Willows has actually lost the place to Fraser.
Yeah, so it seems, Parrish sticking close to into turn 2. He didn't try to get underneath him. He's going to get a healthy dose of slipstream and maybe send him to free. So they're still thinking close to these guys, so it's a free fight at the moment.
They now make their way through the final 2 turns now then. And is he going to try and find a little pocket there, Suto? He thought about it, but didn't quite work out. He's got a very interesting view coming out of, I think that was turn 3, if I'm not mistaken. Well, this is the exit of turn 4. As you can see, that's Kirby going through as they all whiz their way out of that final turn.
So that's a brilliant exit in the meantime.
Suto going to try and get second place back off Parrish. He's going to hang back for the moment. Same goes with Patel, who's trying to get back on Ionescu, as Fraser's now catching up to those two. It looks like Willows is starting to fall back a little bit. Maybe this stint not working out for the 2-time top class champion at the moment.
Could be. Meanwhile, Kirby has pulled away 0.6 of a second, but he's in clean air. The people behind him have though. If they stop battling each other and start trading some slipstream, they're going to catch back up to him.
Ionescu taking a very wider line going through into there. Took the same line as what Suto did, and it's allowed
Now
Patel
it's gone a little bit wide.
Ionescu now going to pounce and try and get himself onto the podium places. Let's see. Of course, let's not forget, if the Indy 500 does happen next season, of course, if you finish in the top 5, you're guaranteed the slot for next season. Let's not forget, providing you do sign up, of course. But that's if, of course, the 500 does continue after this season. That all really depends on what Yuri wants to do, of course.
But they're getting quite close behind him. Fraser's joining the party as well. Suto has dropped back massively to the top 2. Yusuke's getting a brilliant run on him, but I don't think he can get him right now. Maybe into turn 3. Can he get underneath him and get that position? Yes, he can. Patel, I suspect he'll sneak by as well. Maybe Fraser too. Suto being forced to the outside. Patel going on the outside as well. Look at this. It's a free wide moment almost.
Very close.
Yes, indeed, as now Fraser's trying to get underneath Patel. Meanwhile, Cress is starting to attack Willows just behind, as Fraser's just going to tuck back into Patel's slipstream. All this is doing, meanwhile, is allowing the top 2 to just get away for the moment. Kirby and Parrish just getting their way just that little bit at the moment.
Yeah, they got a 1.5 cushion on the P3 car of UNESCO.
Indeed so, but it looks like Parrish might be starting to close in a bit on Kirby, so that could be something to keep an eye on. It's not 0.6 at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on that next time around.
Yeah, indeed. Meanwhile, here goes Rahul Patel. He's pressuring his friend Soto and maybe trying to get him into turn 3 here. No, he's going to wait for 4.
Perhaps so indeed, as they now make their way into turn 4 now then. Patel trying to have a little look at Suto, not going to quite work out. He's also got to keep an eye on Fraser, let's not forget as well. As meantime, Willow's maybe starting to pull away a bit from Crest. Crest tried a couple of times on him, but it just seems like it's not working. So Crest just hanging back for the present moment. And it is down to 0.51 now between Kirby and Parrish. So Parrish just gaining that little bit now on Kirby.
Yeah, meanwhile, he's pulled for 3 tenths away from P3. So that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. It went from 1.5 to 1.8 between P2 and 3.
Yeah, and there is Valding, who is currently lying in 36th position meanwhile. We are aware that I believe Graf is a lap down, if I'm not mistaken. In the meantime, Fraser trying to get underneath Patel. Is he going to get the move done? No, Fraser going to hang back for the moment. Of course, these two are too familiar with each other this season because, of course, they race against each other in the top class. Both of them having great seasons, it's fair to say. Now they're definitely attacking each other in this race. Is Fraser going to try and get underneath Patel into the first turn? He's in the slipstream. Is he going to try and find a gap on the inside? He thought about it, but Patel just about shutting the door. But could he possibly try and get him into turn 2, perhaps?
He's definitely going to try it. Meanwhile, Corby's making up ground once again to Parrish. It's 0.57, and Parrish has pulled even further away from P3.
Now it looks like he's once again under attack from Cress, and it looks like from Lean Campana as well in the Sahara. I mean, somebody's going to get that pronunciation confused, but Campana has got underneath Crest and has got up into 8th position. Meanwhile, because of Patel battling with Fraser, he's now starting to drop away. Ionescu's actually got ahead of Suto, and did we see that earlier on? I can't quite remember, but Ionescu is up into 3rd position.
He was in front of Suto before. Suto is trying to fight back, I think. It's a crash. It's Evan Byrne.
It looks like, was that a Penske car who was involved as well? As Cassidy also involved, and it wasn't a Penske car. It was in fact the Sarah Hartman car of Bella Neuville. So I believe that's going to be another caution.
Caution number 3 is right here, and if Corby thought he was going to get comfortable, I'm afraid not.
Let's see what happened here then, and I think it may have been. I think it might have been caused by Neuville, in fact, because there was a big battle just in front, and
she swerved massively to the left, and the clip burned, and there was no turning back from that. And then the second contact was incredibly terrifying at high speed.
In actual fact, I do want to see that again, because I'm not sure whether Neuville maybe actually lost the back end going through into turn 3 there, because it did look a little bit weird how she swiped across there, or was it contact from Byrne? Let's see. So coming out of the exit of turn 3. And it was actually contact from Byrne. It was Byrne.
He caused the initial hit, I think. And then Neuville had nothing she could do, just a passenger. And yeah, this is just unfortunate. I don't really want to put the blame on anybody. It happens in 500.
We know that Byrne is out of the race. He's lost the wheel, so that's his 500 coming to a close. And the question is, has Neuville sustained any major damage as well? It looks like Cassidy's out of the race because he's in the pit. So we might as well look to the bottom of the screen to see if he is out or not. And no, it still says he's a lap down. But Neuville is out. Neuville is out of the race. She's got terminal damage, so she's out along with Byrne. So 2 retirements there. And now it's been classified as well that that Cassidy is out. So both Sarah Hartman Fisher cars are out of the race.
Of course, Cassidy was involved in contact that brought up the previous caution, and now he's been finished off for good. And it looks like the leaders are coming in, but not all.
It looks like Graf is going to try and stay out on track, of course. I do believe he is still a lap down, of course. So a bit of an interesting one, really. It would put him back on the lead lap, but he would be leading the pace car as a result, unless he decides to come back into the pit. So if he wants to get back with these guys, he's probably going to have to hope for another pace car and hopefully to stay in front of these guys as well, just so we can get back on the back of them, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, of course, but it's still a very bizarre strategy call, considering that he pitted earlier for apparently no reason. Nevertheless, it's time to find out who's going to get the best pit job in here from these guys.
Yep, as meanwhile, as there is Shahin who's at the end box there. We've also got Nathan Orman who's in the pits. As mentioned, most of them are into the pits. We know that Graf has stayed out on track to get the lead lap back. But of course, I think he needs another pace car to get himself back onto the back of the pack. And it looks like Kirby is again going to lead them out onto the track, but he's going to end up behind Dennis Graf here. So Graf will actually be the one leading the pack because of how NR 2003 works.
Chris up in second place, meanwhile, and I think that's Parrish in third. So in the top 3, only one change of position.
Indeed so. Well, if Graf wants to get him, as mentioned earlier, I'll say it again. If Graf wants to get himself back on the back of these guys, he's got to hope potentially for another pace car or have some miracle pace to catch them back up.
Nevertheless, he might be quite a bit of a headache for these guys. given that he's a lap down, and there are no blue flags in this thing. So if you wanna lap somebody, you gotta do it the hard way.
Indeed so, as they are now forming up behind Dennis Graff, who is of course not the race leader. He's actually down in the last of the runners so far, because of course he made quite an early pit stop, and so.
No, Michael, Graf can't overtake the pace car and join the back. It doesn't work like that.
In fact, it looks like Graff is coming into the pits, though, so Kirby won't have to worry about that. So, yeah, a little bit bizarre what's going on over at Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan Racing.
Maybe Rahul is making their strategies.
It's not the same spelling, I'm afraid.
I know, but I just had to.
Ask George Rogue.
Anyway, but it does mean now that Kirby's leading the pack behind the pace car, and of course, as you referred to earlier, Rob, of course, Ionescu is now up into second position as a result of that, as now the leaderboard has updated itself. So we've got Kirby in the lead, with Ionescu in second, Parrish in third, Patel fourth, Fraser in fifth, then it is Kress in sixth, followed by Campana in seventh, Willows is in eighth position, followed by Franco Gamba, who's all the way up in ninth place in the Red Bull Racing Camo. We haven't really seen much of him today, but he's made himself now into the top 10, and in rounding out the top 10 is one of the Andretti cars. That's the number 26 Andretti car of Gabriel Gomez. So Gomez.
Well, as long as you don't crash, you're very likely to eventually find yourself in the top 10 at some point. So good job from Franco Gamba.
So yes, as
I'll be right back.
Okay, fair enough. The pace car is still going to be going out for at least another lap. So obviously, Ra, we've had what is it now? 3 pace cars in this race. Do you think we're going to get a few more before the end of the race, or do you think things will calm down just a little bit? Because I think we got a little bit further the last time round.
Well, we're on lap 25, and still a long way to go. So I do expect some more cautions.
We'll see, of course, as Kirby continuing to lead the way at the moment. Of course, Graff will be joined right at the back of this. As far as he's concerned, he might as well just forget this race and just enjoy the rest of the driving, really, and basically hope if he wants to get some kind of top 10 finish. But just to remind you, if anybody's just joined us, the retirements of this race, of course, we've got 34 cars left. So we've got Thomas Cassidy retired, Bella Newville is out, as is Evan Burns, Zachary Fitzwater, Jake Tilsley, Adam Wolf, Simon Mutka, and Sama Oskin. They have all been the retirements. As mentioned, we've got 34 cars left in this race, and which is just over the amount that the real-life Indy 500 race would usually accept. But of course, we're not the real Indy 500. We don't have a bump day, although it has been suggested, I think, once during Discord. So, but obviously no. Okay, so yeah, so we've got 34 runners left, Rob, just for clarity, and
yeah.
So.
All right.
In total, is obviously 8 retirements, of course. We're just over the amount that would be accepted in the real-life Indy 500, but of course, this isn't the real Indy 500. We can do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, except we can't have 100 cars. That would be too much chaos. And look, it's past lap 20 and the whole field hasn't died yet, so this is a success.
Yes, indeed. But the pace car is coming in this lap. As you can see, the lights are off, so we will get back to green flag racing on the next lap, which will be lap 27 of 200.
Ionescu and Patel, I have to say, have been very incisive so far this race, very hard on the attack, and they've got Kirby and Parrish in front of each respectively. I think the cars in P2 and P4 at the moment are gonna go heavily on the attack.
Indeed, so as we now wait for the pace car to go in. Of course, we're just down this back straight, and we'll be seeing the cars peel, the pace car peel into the pits this lap. And it will be... You're saying, Rob, sorry?
No, I wasn't saying anything, sorry.
Okay, but anyway, we're just coming around the final 2 turns, and it will be interesting to see if Kirby can hold on to the lead on the restart, or whether Robert Ionescu will fancy his chances or not.
I think he's definitely going to try, but if he'll succeed or not is another story.
Anyway, we're going to see the pace car peel in just after they come around this corner they're approaching now, which is turn 4. So around the banked corner we go, and then we will see the cars getting ready once they see the green light that is surrounded around the sides of the tracks, of course, because we do have a little bit of a traffic light system around these circuits.
Pace car pulls into pit lane, Corby will control the pace, and when he decides to go, it'll be go time.
Let's see, as Let's wait for the green to go, which will be now. As you can see, the green light, and he's underway.
Great launch. I think Unesco's caught napping a little bit. Parrish might get the opportunity.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through the first turn. You see there just in the background, Fraser trying to have a little look at Patel for fourth position, but Kirby getting off to a brilliant start, and now he's trying to create a gap like he did a little bit earlier on.
Unesco going very defensive from Will Parrish, but he's going to get a great run onto the back straight, as Unesco is gaining on Kirby in the slipstream, but the Brazilian pulling away at the moment. Doing quite well for himself, but let's see what Will Parrish can do in towards turn 3. He can take back second place, meanwhile Chris is making a move.
Yep.
Crest, meanwhile, has got underneath Fraser, and he's now up into fifth position. So a little bit of a switch there between two of the 5 Chip Ganassis in this field.
Parrish is going to go for it now.
Let's see if he can try and get Ionescu into the first corner. Keep an eye on Patel as well. He's also getting some slipstream off of Parrish as well. Underneath goes Parrish. I think he's going to get the move completed, which he does do. And Patel is also going to... Patel trying to follow suit. Is he going to grab third from Ionescu? Ionescu trying to hang it around the outside. It looks like Ionescu is going to hold on for the moment.
Yeah, but he's very, very vulnerable right now. Crest and Fraser getting involved in scrap as well. And these guys need to keep giving each other slipstream, otherwise Kirby's just going to get away.
Coming around the turn 3 corner now then, as Patel starting to lose a little bit of time now to Ionescu, as 2 of the Chip Ganassi cars now start to swarm onto the backside of him. This is Crest and Fraser, of course. Also, keep an eye on Campana, who could close up as well.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, Patel under a little bit of pressure here. Here goes Crest. He's got the move down already into turn 1. And Fraser will try to sweep in as well. Down the other side, yeah, he's got him. You know, Ionescu is struggling for pace at the moment. It looks like Crest is all over the back of him.
Indeed so. Meanwhile, we're just having a look in the background. It looks like Shahin is trying to give Willows a little bit of discomfort there, as Willows actually dropped to 10th from the start of it. In fact, so he's dropped a few places from the restart, and he's got Shahin all over the back of him as well. And I think that's Fujiukas as well, from the looks of it.
Campana has next pressure. Hold Patel. Let's see what he can do here. Onto front straight, but I think actually Patel have to think about attacking more than defending. He's going to try to get back Fraser into turn 1. Fraser goes a little high, but not enough space for Patel to sneak in beneath. Maybe this time into 2. No.
They now make their way through turn 2 now then on the track, as is Patel going to try and get Fraser back into turn 3? That's going to be the question, as he's right in the slipstream now then of the 2019 DTM champion, as they now make their way into the final 2 turns now then, as Cress is now starting to get into the gearbox of Ionescu, meanwhile, in their little battle for 3rd position.
Having said that, he's gone a little too high though, compromised his exit, but he's still gaining out of that share, of course, the slipstream.
Parrish looks like he wants to resume his little battle he was going to have with Kirby, because he was going to close off.
He's gained massively.
Meanwhile, Razin on the inside of Gamba, that side by side they go. Is that going to be P8 for the Indonesian? It is, and now he wants to get a hold of Campana.
That was a brilliant move.
While Willows has been pushed now outside the top 10 as a result, because Razin has been making inroads in the top 10 group at the moment.
But here comes Rahul Patel.
He's not going to have a go there. But meanwhile, Razin has got underneath Campana, and that's P7 for him. Is Gamba going to follow suit as well for in the Red Bull? He's thinking about a look. And
yeah, he's done it.
Well, they're still side by side, actually. It's going to continue down towards turn 1, but it looks like Gamba might have the edge going through into that first corner, unless Campana can somehow find a way to hang it around the outside. He's got a lot more straight line speed than what Gamba has got. Gamba's still trying to get underneath, and he's got the place this time by, and now here comes Fujiukas, who wants to get underneath Campana. Campana just dropping backwards at the moment, and Fujiukas looks like he's going to get the move done, or is he?
Yeah, I think he's got him. We have to take a look at the battle for the lead, because here is Will Parrish.
If I'm not mistaken, Parrish was the one that was involved in that battle in 2019 for the win, after Clark interfered in that one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. I think he finished 5th or something like that.
I think he was actually 2nd, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, 2nd, not bad.
Was the one that got...
you can search the result.
He was the one that lost out to the win when Clark interfered, of course.
No, Campana was the one who lost the win. He was the one leading. But Campana finished 4th.
Thought it was Parrish, but okay. But anyway,
I think Parrish just took advantage and took 2nd, but I think it might have been somebody else too. I'm not 100% sure. Nevertheless, here is Parrish, this time in 2nd. And attacking the João Pedro could be very hard.
Indeed so, but so far he's not within slipstream range of Kirby, and Kirby just trying to maintain that gap at the moment. 0.29 was the gap last time around. Let's see what it is this time around as they cross the line to start lap 34 of 200, and across the line they go. And it's roughly the same. No, it isn't. He's upped it a little bit to 0.39 at that point in time. As meanwhile, Razin is now up into 6th position. He's got in front of Kress, and he's actually on the charge at the moment in that Team Lotus car.
Yeah, that looks like some very, very strong pace at the moment. He's going to try to get good traction, but having said that, his round was pretty terrible into 2. Maybe do another push from Tobias Kress once we take that place.
They now make their way down towards the final 2 turns on the racetrack now then. Through into the second to last corner, and now into the final corner. We will now go now then, as Razin right in the middle of a Chip Ganassi sandwich. Probably not the best meat you want to be in at the moment, because in the sandwich of 2 Chip Ganassis, it's not really good news. It's worse if you have 5 of them surrounding you. But anyway, Razin now on the inside of Fraser. Is this going to be P5 for the Indonesian driver in the Lotus?
It is.
And it is. Is Kress going to follow through? I think he might do, and I think he has done it.
Yeah, good job there, Fraser, being left out to dry. As Gamba looks like he's going to take the place as well. Maybe it's still side by side or back straight. I think Gamba will have to tuck back a little bit.
Almost now looking to the inside into turn 3. Can the top class championship contender make his way through on the inside? He's thinking about the move, and he's got the move done. So that's P number 8 for the Italian there.
Yeah, indeed. Car number 8 and P number 8, but he's got chase after Crescent next as well.
Is that a caution? I think I saw the yellows there.
Yeah,
this car is out, but for whom? It's for Jonatas Martins.
Armar car, it looks like, as well, in the Mercedes. So what's happened here between these two? And it looks like, in fact, Penske has got himself involved as well. I'm not sure which Penske that is. It looks like there was a load of cars involved in this one.
Yeah, it was in the
midfield
as
once
well.
again. Let's see what happens. Ooh, another big wreck.
Started right there, in fact. It started just before the corner. It looked like somebody had actually swerved into Armar car there. I'm not sure who that was that swerved into him there. And it was, if we take a look, who's right next to him?
Was that Blake Moore?
Oh, that's Barch's Kloss in the other Penske. It's the number 22 Penske you can see there. So I think it's Kloss that's turned him around there.
Oh my gosh. Front right to rear left. Never get the result. And especially in Indy.
It's also involved another Penske car in that incident as well. It's the one that's in the Joseph Newgarden Penske, if I'm not mistaken. We know that Martin's involved. It's that one there, look, in fact. Who is that? Or was that the Will Power Penske? I'm not sure. Who was that Penske that was involved there? It was Michael Mocho, in fact. So it was, in fact, the number 2 Penske. So Mocho got himself involved there. Now, has that led to a few retirements? That is the question. There's a few have come into the pits, including Joao Pedro Kirby.
Willows and Shahin staying out once again.
A few cars have decided to stay out as well, including Joseph Frederick Suto. So both Josephs, in effect, staying out on track there. So a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah, I could say that. Even though they're spelled differently, it's still pronounced similarly, so I'll give you that.
Yes, so anyway, how many cars have we got left now? That is the question as a result of that crash that happened that we saw there from that big gaggle of cars, I should say, as my tongue decided to twist itself there. Let's see. Kloss is out with Valve and Kloss is out with from the crash. Martin's retired with a valve problem, and Carr is retired as well. So we had 3 retirements on that occasion. So once those lot go down, I think we've got 31 cars left.
Yeah. Meanwhile, out of the previous top 4 of Corbe, Parrish, and Escopatel, I think they've stayed in the same order, but they've got these guys who haven't pitted to deal with. Going for Volker and Joseph Willows into McLarens.
Indeed so. Graf, of course, has stayed out, but he's obviously still a lap down. We do believe as well, in fact, Yuri mentioned it in the stream chat, I don't know if it was brought up here in the commentary box, Yuri believes that Graf had a mechanical issue, hence why he had to pit quite early. So a bit of a disaster there for him. But one person I want to bring up as well, we talk about how Willis is in second. Look where the other McLaren is, a Florian Volker. He's up into 4th. But I do wonder if they're going to pit on... I wonder if they do have to pit this lap. That's going to be a question. Of course, let's not forget, Volker is the defending winner of this race. Could he potentially make it 2 wins in a row?
It's a little trickier said than done. But if I know one thing about Florian Volker, is he's not going to give up until the checkered flag drops.
We do know that Volker is our resident OC record breaker. So, of course, he is the first Monaco GP and Indy 500 when he did that last season. Graf deciding to come back into the pits again. So, it's still more confusing about what Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan Racing are planning here. But there we are, I guess.
So is he going to drop 2 laps down now or what?
I think he's still going to be a lap down because he was
Oh, yeah,
only behind
probably.
these lots. So, I think he's still going to be a lap down, I'm afraid.
So as we just got an update from the top 10, of course, of the top 10 with that pit stop. The front 4, of course, you know, Suto, Willows, that guy, the number 50 Shahin, sorry, and Volker. But then you also got the guys who pitted. Those being Kirby Parrish, UNESCO, and Patel, the usual suspects that are from this race. And I'm not quite sure what that 71 is.
That's Mohamed Razin in 9th position, followed by Franco Gamba, who rounds out the top 10.
Yep, thank you, Joe. And there's the top 10 as things stand. But you have to think just how much fuel do these guys have left, because this is a very interesting strategy call.
Indeed so, as they are currently behind the pace car at the moment. This is the second time we've seen Suto lead the pace car today, and who knows, really, he could be a factor towards the end of this race. Of course, the thing with the Indy 500 is it's all about timing. You can be leading so early on in the race, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be in the fight towards the end, of course. It's all about timing it correctly.
Yeah. The big thing is you need to stay in that group for the lead. Doesn't matter if you're a second or 2 or 3 behind the leader. There will be cautions, so just stay as far up the front as you can, up the field as you can, for as long as possible. Stay in that lead fight. When we get to those final 50 laps, which are crucial, unleash everything you've got, go on a mad charge, and take the lead and keep it. That's the way to win.
Indeed so, but I do believe that the pace car will come in at next lap, of course. We will keep an eye on the lights on the top of the pace car just to make sure, but I do have a feeling the pace car will be coming in on the next lap, of course.
I think this restart will be very interesting, with Kirby and Darius having significantly fresher tires than these guys. But if Kirby can get a move done early, he'll be very vulnerable to the other guys on new tires who will be attacking him. He had the pace advantage in clean air, but he won't be in clean air any longer. If he fails to make the move on Volker in front, he could be finding himself dropping places.
The pace car is coming in this lap, so I was correct there. So we will be going into green flag racing on the next lap, which will be lap 40.
Yep, that's right. And what do you think, Rak? This looks like the potential for a very entertaining restart.
Yep, indeed. Of course, many more laps. Well, it's pretty much a long way to go, and
Flo is meanwhile surprised that he is in P4. It's because you didn't pit for this caution. That's why, Flo.
I think he knows that. I think he's just he's still surprised regardless, to be honest with you, because he has been watching this race for the entirety.
Yeah, indeed. So, it's always nice to get a look at the chat and see what the people are saying, you know.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't make contact with me, I'm fine.
Well, you jinxed it. Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
We did make a little bit of contact yesterday during qualifying, if anybody saw the qualifying session yesterday.
Only just a tiny little bit.
Anyway, we've got 2 more corners left, and we will see the safety car pull into the pits.
The big question is, how long until the top 4 are going to head into the pits? Obviously, they're fielded a little lighter than the cars around them, I would assume. But they've also got older tires. So that could be a disadvantage. Good, I'm not saying for sure it will. This shapes up to be a very entertaining restart. And which way are things going to go? The pace car will dart into the pit lane. It will go to the left, as far left as it can. Just first Suto will lead the pack with Joseph Willows. I'm sure we'll be pressuring him. Maybe not in the lap, but the 2 or 3 laps time, he'll be over the back of him. Here we go. Who's going to get the best start?
Let's see then as the pace car heads into the pits, and just wait for the green light to go on, and that will signify when Suto will get on the gas.
Yeah, keep a very close eye on the battle between P4, P5, and P8. Those are the original leaders. So it'll be very interesting to see how their squabble progresses. As Suto has had a very good start, Willows seems to be under a little bit of pressure from our pollster, Khalil Shahin.
Indeed so, but he's also, let's not forget, he's in a McLaren sandwich, and it looks like Volker is also starting to close in a bit there, as you can see, on Shahin as well. But as they now make their way through the first few turns on the track there's not really much change going on within the top 8 at the moment. As meanwhile, Kirby trying to get
all over the back of Volker. He's going to go for it here.
Not quite, of course, these two race against each other in World Champ Car, so they know each other pretty well, of course, and ironically for the same teams that they're driving for as well. So, because of course Volker races for McLaren in World Champ Car, and Kirby races for Chip Ganassi in that series.
The background looks like Patel's going to go for a move on Ionescu.
Volker tries to get within the gearbox of Shahin meanwhile, but it's quite ironic really. Shahin's in a McLaren sandwich and Volker's in a Chip Ganassi sandwich, so lots of sandwiches in that little group at the moment, but they've also got Parrish to worry about as well, and Parrish is trying to attack
It's a sandwich, pretty much.
Yes, indeed. As Parrish trying to attack Kirby, which he couldn't do previously on the previous 2 occasions before the previous 2 pace cars came out, and now he wants to really attack him.
Yeah, indeed. Watch for Patel. He's going to make the move.
Underneath Ionescu, side by side they go, and I think Patel has got the move done, and he has done. Is Cress also going to follow through in the Chip Ganassi cars?
He
tried to have a go, but it didn't quite work out there. As now they make their way down the straight as Shahin on the inside of Willows. This is going to be P2 for the
Watch for Kirby.
The 2 Chip Ganassis on the move, and it looks like the McLarens are getting swarmed here at the moment.
Yeah, indeed, and they're having to make way. Patel goes through brilliant stuff. Nesco and Chris are in the scrap as well. They're going to try to get past the McLarens right now.
Look at Shahin. He's on the gearbox of Suto. We've got a battle for the lead here.
Yeah, indeed. And let's see how long it'll take for him to clear him, if he can.
They come out of turn 3. He's trying to have a little look into turn 4 if he can, but Suto shutting the door there. Patel also having a little go at, I think that is...
That's Parrish.
Parrish is having a go at, so Kirby has also got by on Parrish as well. Well, we know that, of course, because most of them swarmed the 2 McLarens, as we saw earlier on. Shahin not close enough there on that occasion to get Suto.
No, but look at this fight between the 3 who are originally in the top 4. Patel is getting quite a lot on Parrish. Who's going to get the better exit here? You know, Ionescu and Chris appear to be still stuck behind the McLaren, so they're losing a little bit of time.
Indeed so, but look at this top 5 now. They're all really grouped together in that fight for the lead as the 2 McLarens are having to fend off from Crest behind. Meanwhile, Shinies are going to try and go underneath into turn 4. Meantime, Patel goes underneath Parrish. He's trying to have a go, and he's not quite done it yet. He's maybe going to have to wait for turn 1 as Kirby now trying to get underneath Shine if he can, but not quite got it because Shahin is stuck in the slipstream of Suto. We saw a little bit of this last season, which helped Volker win the race in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, all the 2 McLarens are battling for position. With Kress and Ionescu is just overtaking Kress into turn 1. Brilliant stuff as now Volker and the Willows side by side with each other almost, one behind the other. And Volker is in his gearbox. He's going to try again, but watch for Patel. He's going to have another crack at Parrish. Here goes Rapid Kirby.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through the corners. Patel again trying to get underneath Parrish. I think he's got it done this time, and he has. Patel up into 4th.
Yep, indeed. As Suto continuing to lead. But we have to keep an eye on this battle, of course. Shahin, is there a lot of pressure from Rapid Kirby?
Indeed, but Shahin, as we saw last season with Volker, using the switch to his advantage, trying to get underneath Suto, in fact, but Suto not letting him go there at the moment. And Patel is now in this group.
He's going to go for it, try to get beneath, Rapid Kirby here. No, not quite. It'll be very entertaining on the run towards turn 3 here, as Ionescu looks like he's overtaking one of the McLarens.
That was Willows, in fact, because as you can see on the leaderboard, Volker has overtaken Willows, and Willows is starting to drop back a little bit.
Yeah,
so it seems this fight is getting even closer. Here goes Shahin back for the lead, and this time he's not got it yet. Brilliant downforce around the outside there for Joseph Suto, sorry.
Now Kirby trying to get underneath Shahin if he can, and he's a little bit more closer this time by. Is he going to try and grab second from his teammate? Oh, a little bit of contact there, but luckily no disaster, and into second place goes Kirby. He barges his way through there.
That was an aggressive move and a half, as Rahul Patel will be the next one to try to overtake Shahin here.
Indeed so, as they now make their way down the back straight. All that has allowed Suto to just pull away just that little bit from that group that's just behind at the moment. Patel trying to see if he can get underneath Shahin. He's thinking about it, but it isn't going to quite work out there. But now he could get him into turn 4.
Yeah, into turn 4 he's got a brilliant run. And Shahin might be under pressure from Parrish as well, but Patel's got the move done. Or has, because Shahin is coming back around the outside. They're still side by side, but Patel will have the inside and the advantage that comes with it.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through turn number 1 now then, as Patel underneath, and he's got third. Here comes Parrish, he's also going to get through. Keep an eye on Volker as well, who's also caught up to it. Parrish has got through, is Volker also going to get through as well? Down the inside, I think Volker has got the move done, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so it seems. And Volker is pushing once again. He's going to get Shaheen now.
Indeed so, as Kirby dropping back a bit on that part there to Jose Frederic Suter, but I think Volker has got it done, and he has done indeed, as meanwhile it's now brought...
He's hit Parrish!
Not quite a crash there, that was very lucky to not cause a pace car there, but that was very aggressive from Volker, you'd have to say.
Absolutely, I think he's going to Parrish some damage with that.
Maybe a little bit, but Kirby takes the lead back off Suto, and he has done. Back into the lead of the race goes Joe Pedro Kirby, and now here comes Rahul Patel.
Kirby's got no time to relax. Rahul Patel is right there. As Shaheen loses the position to Crest, Gamba could try and get involved in the mess as well, but my goodness, Volker does a little bit silly. It's giving him Parrish a heap of damage. He's dropped down to P90 American.
Indeed so, as Patel now trying to put Suto under a bit of pressure now then. Of course, the last time these two raced each other was in GP2 last season, and I think it's fair to say that Patel definitely battered him last season after all the battle that Suto suffered in 2020. But anyway, they're now fighting for seconds. Meantime, just behind, Crest is looking towards the inside of Volker. Here comes Crest now, then trying to... He got the move done, and he has.
Yeah, good stuff.
As the German dispensers of his fellow compatriot there, as Patel tries to get underneath Suto there.
Oh!
Volker's
got damage. I think we know how he got that damage. It was from that contact that happened earlier on with Parrish. So Volker got a little bit of damage to his front wing.
This is surprising, meanwhile. Kirby was able to pull away earlier in the previous stints, but this time he's not pulling away. He's just Suto is all over the back of him.
Indeed so. As meantime, look at this train that Shaheen is forming just behind us. Garma tries to get underneath him if he can. Also trying to drag along Ionescu, Parrish, and several others as well. This could get very, very interesting indeed.
I think Ionescu will be the one to go for it. Can you overtake Gamba here? Underneath him, he's got him.
Has indeed. Of course, they have a lot of respect for each other, do Ionescu and Gamba. And as Ionescu got it completed, they're still side by side, actually going out the exit at turn 2. As Suto is actually trying to get back onto Kirby. He could say in a way that Patel is sort of pushing Suto towards Kirby, you could say in a way there, from the way it looked on the camera.
Yeah, I could say that again. Meanwhile, he's losing a little bit in the corners. That's where Kirby is the strongest with those first tires, of course. But Suto is gaining quite a lot on the straights, but not as much as Rahul Patel because he'll be going for it right now.
We've just reached just over a quarter of way into the race, and we've just passed lap 50, by the way. So a quarter of way in this race has been completed.
That's Patel in the second.
Has done indeed, and here comes Cress. He also gets underneath. Is he also going to try and have a look at Patel? Not going to quite work out there, so Patel is just going to hold on for second place as Volker keep an eye on him, because even though he's got damage, he is still keeping up with these guys pretty well.
Yeah, I guess so. Volker clearly, the lighter fuel load helping him out for the moment. He's not getting blown apart completely, so that's good for him. But take a look at this, because Patel is gaining on Kirby, but Crest is gaining on both of them.
And have a look underneath if you can, as he can't quite get the move done just yet, as he now come down the start finish straight now then, as Patel trying to fend off from Crest. Is Crest going to try and get underneath and make it a Chip Ganassi 1-2? Not at the moment. And is he going to try into turn number 2? No, Patel, you can just see there, covering it off quite well.
Kirby's gone a little bit high. I think he might be under a lot of pressure now on the run towards turn 3, but that might get a monstrous slipstream and could get him perhaps in towards turn 4. Having said that, he's pulling away a little bit.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through into the final 2 turns on the racetrack. As he's actually put a bit of a gap on Crest that time by, so actually pretty good set of corners there for Patel. And now he's right in the slipstream of Kirby. Patel could even try and go for the lead here.
That was a brilliant run, brilliant drive, high downforce package, clearly working out for the Lamborghini drive right now, but he's going to go for into turn 1. Is he? No, he's not. Maybe thinking about a tactical move into turn 2. Just get underneath him and hope it sticks. No, surprisingly.
Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, Kirby keeping hold of the lead and really trying to put Kirby under a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, Patel might think about it into turn 3. Here he goes. And he's got him nice and easy.
So a new leader in this race turn, and that comes in the form of Rahul Patel in the Lamborghini.
And I think that's not the only position Kirby will lose, because Tobias Crest is all over the back of him as well.
Indeed so. Meanwhile, Suto is actually dropping back into the clutches of Volker. So as I said earlier, even though Volker's got some damage front wing, he has still got some decent pace in that McLaren. A little bit like what Charles Leclerc had in the real-life British Grand Prix when he had damage to his front wing.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. In the meantime, looks like Shaheen is holding on to P6 in front of Ionescu. So that'll be an interesting battle to keep an eye on. Bauer's still holding on to P10 with the damage. So he'll be happy with that. But now here goes the Tobias Kress. He's all over the gearbox. Of João Pedro Kirby into turn 3. Kirby holds on, but he could be vulnerable into 4, especially if he goes high.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through into turn 4 now then, as Kress is really trying to put Kirby under quite a lot of pressure. Kress now looking to the inside. Here he goes now then. Is Kress going to get the move done on João Pedro Kirby into turn number 1? Down the inside goes the German, and that's P2 with ease.
That's as clean as you'd like it to be, really.
Indeed so, as... and it's
That's
just
China, meanwhile, into the top 10. He's in the 7th place, the former winner.
Yep, as Keo Shane has come out of nowhere, really. He now finds himself in the top 10 out of all of this. So just looking around in the top 10, in fact, I think 2 winners are currently in the top 10 at the moment. As, I think Gomez got booted out of that top 10, if I'm not mistaken. Fujiuka's now underneath.
Trying to go for the move on Ionescu, and I think he's got him. Gumball tried to sneak underneath as well. But can't quite pull it off.
Indeed so, as somebody gave Ennis giving Rahal a new nickname there in the stream chat. Very interesting. As, now,
what was the nickname?
Well, he's called him Stefan Rahal Patel Organization leads the race. So,
oh my god.
Don't know what that means, but there we are. As, anyways, Kayashani now trying to put Shahin under a bit of pressure here.
Yeah, indeed. Shahin has been defending quite well from this train. Let's see how long he can keep that up.
Indeed so, as Garma now getting underneath for Ionescu. Ionescu starting to drop back a little bit at the moment on this stint. There is Razin as well, who's also looking to take full advantage. That was nearly
Gamble almost running to the back of him. That was a close shave.
Very close shave indeed, as they make their way through into the first 2 turns now then. As Shahin just having enough of a gap to stay in front of Chayo Chainat at the moment. I'm actually going to pronounce him like that now for future, because I keep calling him Keoshani for some reason, even though it's not pronounced like that. Well done, Joe.
Took you long enough.
Yeah, it took me long enough indeed. I still need to get used to how to pronounce Patel's first name before he kills me. So,
nevertheless, here comes Mohamed Razin. He's taking advantage of Gamba's failed overtake from earlier. And he's got to put the move on him into turn 3. Nice and clean as you like. But it's not just him. Lin Campana getting in the mix as well as Will Parrish. Almost hitting the back of Franco Gamba there, but he's taking the place.
It's actually Titkov. He's actually come from nowhere in this race. He's now up into 13th, so he's only 3 places away from the top 10. I was wondering where on earth he got to in this race because of the fact that there are 5 Duke Ganassis. Well, there he is.
Yeah, well said, Joe. Titkov looks like he's going to try to get another place, which he has done.
That's P12 for him, as he's now starting to get a little bit of a...
I think it's P11, actually.
Look at Volker, he's now onto the gearbox of Suto. So as I talked about earlier, that damaged front wing is definitely not stopping the 5-time top-class champion at the moment.
In the meantime, Kress is over the back of Rahul Patel as well. We have a battle here.
For the lead of the race, but they're also coming up to traffic in the form of Michael Mocho in front in the Penske.
Now, the first time Michael was very difficult traffic to negotiate, but let's see what's going to happen here. Mocho moving out of the way? Or is he? No, he's staying in the way of Patel. Holding him up massively, Patel slows down. And that's about Kress going right through.
That's the invitation that Kress needed, and he's now into the lead of the race. He'll now try and lap Michael Mocho at the same time, which I think
Mocho's still ahead, but now not anymore.
Now here comes Patel to get underneath Mocho as well, and pretty soon João Pedro Kirby will have to deal with the same sort of traffic as well.
Patel's still being impeded. Mocho's not letting him by.
Just seems like Mocho's got that little bit better traction than what the Lamborghini's got at the moment, but yeah, eventually he gets through.
By the way, guys, I think it's a very interesting coincidence that we had the 0-10 and the number 10 battling for the lead.
It must be a very lucky number. In fact, it's my brother's favourite number as well, so a bit of a coincidence there, you could say.
Here goes João Pedro Kirby, meanwhile trying to put a lap on Mocho, which he's done, without wasting too much time.
Indeed so, as meanwhile Volker putting...
Meanwhile, it seems Ionescu has overtaken Shahin to take P6.
You can just see in the background...
healthy cushion as well.
You just saw in the background there him appearing in P6 as we look at the battle for 4th between Suto and Volker. Could Mocho interfere just like he did during the Patel-Kress battle?
The question is not if he could, is when he will.
Unless Volker gets past him beforehand, let's see. Even with a damaged front wing, Volker doing a very good job indeed as he now makes his way in towards the first corner, and Suto just fending off for the moment. Maybe using Mocho's slipstream to stay in front at the moment, like we saw what Volker did last season to win the race.
Yeah, but I think Volker is lacking a little bit of front grip, which is why he can't exactly get moves down into turn 1, but I think he is definitely faster into 2.
Yes, indeed, as now they make their way down towards the first corner, as both of them have now put a lap on Mocho there, and then as a result, Suto putting a bit of a gap now between himself and Volker. Meanwhile, it looks like Fujiuka and Titkov are fighting for position, and this time it's for P8. So this is actually Fujiuka's here, Rob, just to clarify there. Or was it Powers you got him mixed up with? I think it was Powers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Parrish I mixed him up with.
Sorry about that. Anyway,
looks like all these guys have overtaken Shaheen in the meantime.
As Kress has got a 1.73 second advantage now over Patel as a result of the traffic they had to lap there. So taking full advantage. Meanwhile,
take a look at this file. Meanwhile, Marco Lopez is going to try to make up a place or two meanwhile into turn 2. And I think he's got one of them. Or no, not quite. They're still side by side, a pair of them.
There's Franco Lopez, meanwhile. We've been wondering where on earth he's been. Or I was wondering where on earth he'd got to. Or
So we have Gabriel Gomez in the meantime as well. Former winner, of course.
Indeed so, as here is Lopez, meanwhile, currently in P, is that P16 he's in at the moment? The two.
Yeah, it is. Parrish in P15 languishing. It's really struggling with the damage, unlike Volker.
It does say P90 for some reason. I wonder if it's not updated correctly or not. But anyway,
I don't think it's updated.
Now. Anyway, Volker's now right on the gearbox of Suto again.
He's never been this close. And with that knackered front wing, he's lost some further drag, even though it compromises front end grip. So if you see a move, it's going into turn 2 or into turn 4. I just don't see it happening into 3. It just doesn't have the turn in.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through into the final 2 turns. On the racetrack now then, as Garber's now been overtaken by Campana, and it looks like Fraser's trying to get underneath as well.
Moore has made a move on Razin in the meantime to get himself into what I think, could be wrong, is 14th place.
2 Lotuses there fighting, as looks like Shahin has now put a lap on Mocho, as they now make their way into the first corner now then. It's a battle for 13th place between Moore and Fraser. Meanwhile, it still says P14 on the top of Moore's indicators you can see on the top right of your screen there, as they now make their way coming out of turn 2, as really big battles going on behind the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, looks like Patel is starting to reel press back in. The gap is closing down once again. It was 1.7 earlier. It's now just under 1 second. It's 7/10 of a second, which means Patel will be in striking distance soon enough. As Gamba is being overtaken, that's a massive moment. Fraser almost colliding there with the backmark car of Mocho. Mocho is really a hindrance for a lot of people.
Yeah, he's definitely holding up his former
Look at Franco Gamba. He's being impeded behind, and everyone is making their way past.
Just said that. He's let's not forget, these two used to be teammates in the top class for, I think, was it 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, at Toro Rosso. So I guess there's no love lost here then.
Yeah, but how many places have he lost him there? Dear God. And this is going to be a free wide moment.
It's going to be tight, Gamba. Be careful. Ooh. Thankfully, he did not damage his suspension from doing that. That was a bit of a squeeze there for Gamba.
Just a bit.
As we now trying to get underneath. Who is that he's trying to get underneath, in fact? As they now made it.
That's Hamid.
It's Mohamed Usman Hamid he was trying to get underneath there, but not.
Now Wee's going to be stuck behind Mocho and losing places.
Comes Parachki, who goes underneath Wee as well in the Ennis Parachki racing car. As they now make their way through the section of corners. There's a little bit of contact there between Parachki and Mocho, but luckily nothing serious done there, so no need.
Sazanov, where has he been all race? Now we finally get a shot of him.
Well, that's I've just realised where Willows is in all this. He's dropped way back.
Sazanov is also making a move, but yeah, very strange about Willows. Has he made a stop unseen by the cameras, or is he just really struggling for pace in those old tires? I really don't know.
Ra was going to say something there, but I'm not sure.
Meanwhile, it looks like Ionesco has got onto the back of Volker, and Soto is just overtaken Florian Volker, as a matter of fact, up to 5th place.
Ionescu through on Volker there, as it seemed that Suter held up Volker long enough to get Ionescu into that fight. Is Keroshani currently holding up Titkov, who has actually passed Vujiukas now. And, of course, as I just said there, Vujiukas. There's a bit of a wide line there for Chao Chinat at the moment.
Looks like Volker hasn't given up yet, though.
No, but we need to wait and see on that. Meanwhile, it seems that Kress is up the gap a little bit more now to Patel. It's back up to over a second. Just over 1.3 seconds is the gap.
Meanwhile, the incredible pace Corby had in the previous stints seems to have all vanished. Maybe he's feel heavy or something. I don't know, but he's 4 seconds down right now.
As now they come around turn number 2 now then, as we're currently on lap 68 of 200 meanwhile, as meanwhile Suto could be under pressure from Ionescu very soon.
Yeah, so it seems. And Ionescu has been having strong pace, not exactly as strong as the fastest drivers, but he's been thereabouts, and I wonder how long it's going to take for him to get past just for Suto.
Coming out of the corner now then, as they now make their way down at the back straight, and let's see what Ionescu can do now then on Suto, as they make their way through into turn 1 and then into turn 2 they will now go, and Ionescu not close enough at the moment. Meanwhile, Tal, you can just see in the background, in fact, China is starting to close in a bit now on Volker, so he's starting to join into this little group.
Meanwhile, Patel gained 2 tenths, so it's a game of tug of war between the top 2.
Because it just seems at the moment Kirby's looking very, very lonely so far in 3rd position. He's way off the top 2 at the moment, but has got a comfortable lead in front of Suto.
Yeah, but if Ionescu gets past Suto, he might be thinking of chasing after Corby. He's got a good exit here from turn 4, and let's see if he can send it into 1. If he does, it should be an easy overtake.
Let's see now the Ionescu right in the gearbox now of Jose Frederic Suto. It's not going to quite work out there, so Suto just staying in front for the time being, as Volker is starting to close back into those two, but also dragging along, as you can see, China, Titkov, sorry, and I was going to say Fujiuka's there, but it looks like he's starting to drop back a bit from Titkov.
Ionescu's losing a lot of time in the meantime. Is that Campana attacking Volker into turn 3? I think it is.
No, it's China, as we talked about.
Oh yeah, my bad,
earlier.
it's China, sorry.
Titkov has also got through as well on Volker, and it looks like Fujiukas might want a piece of him as well.
It looks like Ionescu is wasting a lot of time behind Suto right now.
So, as look at this, China is now out on the back of Ionescu as they make their way through into turn 1.
And have the space to go for it into 1. Will he go underneath into 2? No, he won't. Still very close.
Indeed, 1.3 still the gap between the top 2 at this point in time, as Valdinger is now being lapped by all the cars that are coming up to him now. Meantime, China's
going to go for the inside.
I think he's
sending it aggressively. Yeah, he has. Ionescu is under a lot of trouble now.
Now here comes Titkov. Is he also going to get through as well? He is. As Vujiukas on the inside of Volker, meanwhile, as they go out of turn 4. Looks like Volker's still going to keep in front, because I think he's going to lose Ionescu's slipstream to his advantage there.
Yeah, well done. As there goes lapped car Valdinger blocking everybody.
Indeed, let's see if they can all keep it clean as Suto gets through there. China is also going to get through as well.
Valdir's come back.
Looks like he's got better traction actually coming out of the outside there, but it seems that on the straight he just doesn't have anything at the moment.
Yeah, so it seems.
Through goes Suto and China. Titkov has not got through yet, nor is Ionescu, Volker and Fujiukas at the moment. Getting a little bit too close for comfort there, it's fair to say.
Yeah, Volker's going to make the move on Men's Valdinger as well shortly.
And through goes Ionescu, through goes Volker, using Ionescu to get him through there, as they now make their way down the straight. Through into turn 1 we go, as they now make their way through turn 2 now then. To the second corner we will go, as Suto still under pressure at the moment, it's safe to say, as Fujiukas has now been able to lap Benz Valdinger himself.
Yep, but just for Suto is doing an incredible defensive job. And how long has it been since we had a pit stop? I swear, man.
Well, we had those pit stops during the pace car period, didn't we? But it has been a while since we had a pace car, so I actually can't remember for the top of me, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to keep an eye on that one in the next few laps or so to see if anybody from the lead group will dart into the pits or not.
Yeah, I mean, Vojokas is making a move on Volker here, as Ionescu is very close to the back of Titkov.
Very close indeed. That's nearly getting a little bit too close for comfort there. Suto creating a bit of a gap now to China, as Titkov is still stuck behind the 2019 winner of this race at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. It'll be very interesting to see how this develops. Maybe Titkov can go for a move into turn 4. Which he is doing.
Having a little go. That was a little bit too close for comfort. Child China staying in front there at the moment.
Yeah, very fair and scary there. But he's going another shot, maybe into turn 2, if not into 1.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through into the first 2 turns on the racetrack now then. As looks like Volker
Joker's trying to go for a move, but a little too far back.
was a little bit too ambitious there, was the Greek driver. But luckily no harm done there, as now in fact Ionescu trying to get underneath Titkov, trying to retake the place off the Chip Ganassi driver if he can, as they go side by side. Coming into turn 4 we go. Is Ionescu going to get the move done? They're still going to remain side by side.
Side by side still, but not quite. Just not enough downforce.
Definitely not, as it now looks like. In fact, look at this. Who's come out of nowhere in the top 10? That's Julius Anderson. He's now in the top 10. As now Charlie Chanet has finally got the move done on Suto, and he's up into 4th.
Yeah, and I think Titkov is not wasting any time. He's going for the move as well immediately.
Indeed so, but as I just said there, Anderson is now in this group as well. You can just about see somewhere. In fact, he's just past Volker there. So Anderson out of nowhere has got up into 9th.
Great stuff.
Now Suto's starting to drop back a little bit as Chao China starts to pull away just that little bit more now then as they make their way through into the final turn.
Yep, indeed, and Suto still being a nuisance for everybody around him because he's been so hard to overtake.
Has been indeed, but it's not impossible to get by on Suto.
0.8 meanwhile behind Kress in the meantime.
As they now make their way through into the first 2 turns on the racetrack. As Titkov, is he going to have a go here? Oh, contact made there!
More than just a go.
Was a bit aggressive, but he's through nonetheless, and it looks like Ionescu and maybe even Fujiukas are going to follow through as well.
I think Vajuk is going to have to wait for a corner.
Indeed so, as is Fujiuka's going to get through. Ionescu's already got through, but Suto just hangs it around the outside there as, a little bit too close there as well. Is Fujiuka's going to try and get underneath? No, he can't. And it's also
He's slowing down a lot into turn 4. Look how much Ionescu and Titkov have pulled away.
Indeed so, as Fujiukas and Anderson and Volker are now trying to put pressure on the Slovakian driver now then as they make their way through into turn 1.
I think his stars are near the end of the road. Surely he's gonna have to come in for into the pit soon enough. I don't know how much fuel he's got left in the wagon anyway.
Indeed so, as meanwhile, look at this. Compano is starting to close in a bit now on Patel.
Isn't he a lap down?
He is.
Yes, he is, in fact. But maybe he's trying to unlap himself. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. And he could play a foreign into either Patel or Chris's side because those two are the leaders. And when there's a back marker who is fast, it's always something. As now Titkov is trying to make a move on China, Ionescu is trying to get in as well. Yeah, go on.
I wonder if Campana's made a pit stop, perhaps, because I'm pretty sure he's a little bit further up a little bit earlier on, so maybe he has made a pit stop.
Well, that could be it. Which means other people, yeah, as you just said, could be coming up into the pit soon. Titkov still hasn't gotten the move done yet, meanwhile, and Ionescu is getting so much for turn 2 on the exit.
Indeed so, as they now make their way towards turn number 3 now. Then Ionescu looking for any opportunity he can. He's going to try and get underneath Titkov if he can. Down the inside goes the Romanian driver. Is this going to be the move done for him? Indeed, on the inside he goes. And yes,
that was
it is.
Very aggressive, but very well executed.
And that's P5 for Ionescu. Now, can he get a hold of Chao China? He's having a go.
And he's got straight line speed advantage, I think, but I'm not sure if he can get him into 1. He is close, but is he close enough? Yes, he is.
And that's P4 for Ionescu there. Very easy done there on China, but Titkov not able to take advantage of that, though.
Next target for Ionescu is João Pedro Kirby, though he is a little bit further up the road than he would like.
Yep, as they now make their way into final 2 turns. Is Titkov actually going to make a run into this corner? In fact, I think Chao China might try and get Ionescu back there, but a little bit too far back.
Not close enough.
Did they think about it? But now Titkov, ooh, I thought they were going to make contact there. And but luckily, no harm done there.
It sure seemed that way, didn't it?
Well,
looks like Suto's trying to come back into this fight.
Anderson tries to have a look at Vujiukas just behind us. Now Suto on the inside of Titkov. Is he going to get the move done? On the inside he goes. Side by side they go. And I think Suto has got the move done. Anderson has got by on Vujiukas. Anderson's got by on Vujiukas meanwhile for P8.
I think he might be going for another one.
Anderson trying to have a look at Titkov if he can, but he's going to hang back for the moment.
Yep, so it seems.
To the final 2 turns now, then we go, as they continue to battle. Meanwhile, look, as I'm just keeping an eye on there, it just seems like the gap between Crest and Patel just keeps going up, down, up, down, up, down at the moment. There just doesn't seem to be a bit of a consistency going on at the moment.
Like a seesaw, pretty much.
Pretty much indeed. But meanwhile, Anderson now trying to get underneath Titkov now then into the first corner. Has this got the move done? And he has done, I think. Yes, he has. And through.
Yeah, Ulyss is doing great. Vajukas as well. Here comes Volker.
Volker going to get underneath Titkov as well. He's trying to have a little go as he come out the corner. Meanwhile, Anderson trying to get underneath Suto if he can.
Yeah, he was running incredibly close to his rear left, but wasn't quite close enough into turn 3. I don't think so. But maybe he can cut inside for 4 and get him there.
Indeed, so
yeah, that's the plan. I think he's gonna get him.
Anderson has passed Suto, as Fujiuka has passed Titkov. Is Volker also going to follow through as well on Titkov now then, as they're both in slipstream of 2 other cars in front, but Titkov just going to stay in front for the moment. In fact, Fujiuka is still side by side with Suto. He hasn't completed the move. He's trying to go for the move, and he's got the move done, and I think Titkov is going to follow through as well. He is. Is Volker also going to follow through as well? Side by side they go, and I think, yes, he does. So, Suto pretty much mugged there.
Yeah, just for Suto put up a very, very impressive fight defending all those places for so long. He was like a brick wall. But if you hit a brick wall long enough, all the bricks will come crashing out, and that's what happened here. Without the literal crash, of course.
They now make their way through into the final 2 turns now. Then we go. As Titkov trying to put Fujiukas under a bit of pressure now then, as he tries to look to the inside. Is Titkov going to get the move done? As he's trying to, but it just looks like Fujiukas might be using a tiny bit of Anderson's slipstream in front to stay in front for the moment.
So it seems.
Through turn 1 we go now then, as it seems the 2 Lotuses were still fighting there.
Look at this fight, because Sazonov attacking Parachki, and Lopez going to try to take advantage as well.
Side by side they go, and Graf, who's trying to unlap himself, let's not forget, trying to get himself back on the lead lap, and he's just getting himself involved in this, I think, unless that is a battle. I'm not 100% sure. That was very close as Campana tries to unlap himself there, and he does unlap himself. So
he's just giving Rahul Patel the impetus to chase after the lead again.
But imagine if that ended in tears, the scenes that would have created.
Yeah, absolutely right. If you thought what Michael Clark did 2 years ago was bad enough, oh boy, that wouldn't have even scratched this. But thankfully, there was no contact.
Well, look at this.
100 caution incoming.
Meanwhile, look at this. Anderson now starting to get onto the gearbox of Child China. Anderson is currently flying at the moment, it seems.
He's got some brilliant pace. Can he take that position?
Meanwhile, Titkov underneath for Vujiukas, and he's got the move done. Is Volker going to follow through? I'm not too sure. But meanwhile, here comes the battle between Child China and Anderson for 5th place.
Yep, and let's see if we can get him to one. We also hit is in the pit.
So we have got some pit activity as he's in the pits, as Anderson's got through on Child China there.
Great stuff.
So Anderson continuing to fly at the moment. Meantime, look at this group of cars continuing to fight.
Yeah, indeed. As here goes Santino Angelo, you haven't seen much of him at all. Battling with Daniel Adventure, he's got him into one. The Chelly also trying to get into the fight too, as he's heading back out on track.
So as here is Crest, the current leader at the moment, as we come around the corners. Is now Volker trying to get a hold of, I think this is Fujiuka's trying to get a hold of, even with the damage from wings. Meanwhile, Fraser is now starting to attack Suto. He's very close to being kicked out of the top 10 at the moment.
Yep, indeed. And Daniel Fraser was in the top 10 earlier, but he's lost out some time. Now he's back in it. And here goes Mohamed Razin, making a move on Hamid. I think he's got him here. Franco Gamba trying to get in a scrap as well. Into our turn 2. He's going very low. He's going to get Hamid maybe, or no, Hamid's still fighting there.
As they go side by side, going through into the corners, the top 2 continue to pull away from Joe Pedro Kirby. Kirby just doesn't have the pace of the 2 number 10s at the moment.
I think Ionescu and Anderson are also gaining out of Pedro Kirby, to be honest with you.
Well, it just seems like he just doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment, does JP Kirby at this stage?
Yeah, I think so. Having said that, though, I think he might have just said
No,
he has the fastest lap of the race, not the fastest lap right now. My mistake.
Indeed. So obviously we'll check to see who will have the fastest lap of the race. I think we'll check that. I think when the race finishes. At the moment, someone who's got the fastest lap. It is currently Kirby at the moment with 2:15.090 at the moment.
And just making a lot of progress. You know, that fastest lap from Kirby was actually faster than the pole time, believe it or not.
We only had 2:14s yesterday. He's actually got it up to 2:15, so it just shows how much the slipstream is really beneficial on race day.
Absolutely right there. As Anderson is all over the back of Robert Ionescu, he's going to try to get him, but where can he get the move done?
He thought about it there, but it didn't work out. He's just going to tuck back behind him at this stage now. Then, as they come out of turn 2, as they now make their way down the
getting off the lapped car.
Oh, indeed, and I think that lap car, if I have a look, that is Mocho they're coming up behind us. Anderson now trying to get underneath Ionescu. Is he going to get the move done? I think he is. Got him, yep. Up into P4 then goes Julius Anderson in the Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports car.
Yeah, but he's going to catch the traffic soon, so maybe Ionescu was thinking of letting him catch the traffic first, or maybe he was just struggling for pace, really. I don't know which one it was.
Through into turns 1 and 2 now, then we go, as Titkov having to fend off a bit from Fujiukas, as they now make their way through into turn 2 now then.
Mocha is now impeding Ionescu quite substantially.
Indeed so, but is Ionescu going to get underneath him there? He does, and but all of that has allowed Titkov to close up. Just give me a moment, guys.
Okay. But yeah, look how much time he's lost because of that. Maxim Titkov is so much closer, he might be able to attack actually. And Ionescu seems to be going backwards because of that traffic. As Mocha is trying to make way for some more people, looks like. You have Hamid battling Franco Gamba, he's gonna try and make a move.
Yeah, it doesn't work, unfortunately. Staying in the slipstream.
He's staying high into 2, not clearly showing he doesn't want to go for the move just yet.
Back.
Welcome back.
I think Orman wanted to know where he was, if I'm not mistaken. There's somebody's actually in the pits. That is Joseph Frederick Suto. Suto's in the pits. So,
well, that was a very long stint.
Indeed, of course, he was struggling a little bit, so now he can finally ditch those tyres that he was on.
Yep, absolutely right. As Mocha now makes way for Volker.
As meanwhile, we look around to see what the rest of the pack is doing at the moment. Some people look like they're starting to separate a little bit, but we've still got some groups who are fighting at this point in time, as it looks like Titkov is starting to put pressure on Ionescu again.
Anderson is also getting on Kirby. He is less than 7 seconds. As here goes Titkov trying to get past Ionescu, but it's a little bit easier said than done.
Indeed so, as they now make their way.
He's gone very high.
As they now come down the straight, and it looks like Titkov's not close enough at this stage to mount an attack on Ionescu at the moment.
Kirby's pace is dropping, look. Anderson is now 6 seconds down.
As Ormond, you're currently in 12th position. You were wondering where you were on the stream chat. You're currently in 12th position, as you can see. You're in the number 4 AG Foyt car.
So that's how that's shaping out at the moment. Gamba and Gomez battle in this battle as well. But Jean-Pedro Kirby, maybe his tires are wearing off a little bit. Look how far he's dropped behind the 2 leaders.
Indeed so, as they now make their way into the final 2 corners on the racetrack. As you can see, as Fraser putting a lap on Mocha, and now it's Blake Moore's turn to try and put a lap on Mocha if he can. Moore's actually dropped back a little bit because he had a very good qualifying, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday.
I think Tirko might be trying to move on Ionescu in the meantime, looking at that table.
Yeah, but I think there is a battle for P5 going on between Ionescu and Titkov at the moment, but for some reason the TV director is not focusing on that. So anyway, as
everyone's in Norman in the meantime in that fight.
Got him, he's got him.
Titkov is going, yeah.
But
Ionescu's not giving up just yet. I think he might try getting back onto front straight, or maybe here into turn 4.
He thought about it, but he's going to hang back for the moment. Let's see if he can try again into turn 1.
Yeah, he's definitely going to give it a shot.
Oh, a few cars in the pits. There's a few cars in the pits. I think Kirby's one of them in the pits, as is Willow's.
So the pit stops are finally in.
And I think I see a red and blue car that was in the pit lane as well. So I might be wrong on that, but it does say that Anderson's up to
Gamba
third.
makes a move in the meantime.
Yeah, Anderson is up to third. So yeah, I do think Kirby is in the pits.
Meanwhile, Ionescu losing touch to Tirkov.
Indeed so, as meanwhile, Razin is trying to put Orman under a bit of pressure in their fight for, well, a provisional 10th, but we are, I think, around at the pit stop stages now of this race, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely right, Joe. As Ormond clearly finding this one very hard, but when is he going to have to give up?
As there's another car in the pits, that's Daniel Fraser who's just come into the pits there, you can just about see. So a few more cars coming in at this stage of the races. We're very close to the halfway point of this Indy 500 race. We're very close to competing 250 miles at the moment.
Yep, that's right. Let's keep on board Franco Gamba. Good run into two. Maybe he'll have to get close to Razin, who went quite low on exit.
Yep, as Gamba and Razin continue to fight. They've also got Gabriel Gomez behind for company as well, so he's also another driver they've got to keep an eye on. As now Gamba gets underneath Razin, but it looks like Razin's just going to hold on for the moment.
Yep, indeed. Gabriel Gomez in the fight as well. Going quite low here, but he can't take advantage fully. You know, looks like Ionescu has... no, Titkov is coming into the pits, isn't he?
I think there is a Chip Ganassi in the pits. Fraser's just come out of his box after finishing his pit stop. Adventure is in. Did we see Titkov's name? I'm not sure.
Well, Ionescu is back up in the 4th place, so Titkov must come in.
And he's number 93. So yep, Titkov is now in the pits. None of the top 2 have blinked just yet. So Patel's still out on the track, and so is Cress.
Having said that,
Cress is in, I think.
Cress is in, actually.
Yeah, Gap said no one. No.
Yeah, here he is. Cress is in. So Cress is into the pits. The race leader in.
Yep, here he goes.
As the mechanics get to work, the invisible mechanics, of course, because there's no animated mechanics on this game. So do ignore that, as he's getting his tyres changed at the moment. As he will finish his pit stop, which he does. So let's see where Cress is going to emerge then.
Yep, I think if he's in a bit of traffic, that could be very bad for him. It could help Patel get a very crucial opportunity.
Yep, so let's see where Cress is going to emerge. Patel is obviously going to be a lap ahead of him, but of course, Patel is still yet to pit. So do ignore that. Of course, the length of the track can make it a bit out of sync at times, but once everybody pits, then everybody will be back.
Look at this fight, meanwhile. It's Ionescu against Vojokas, I think that is behind. It's not just him. It's Dodo Kirby, who's... no, not Dodo. Jean-Pedro Kirby, who's already pitted.
Yep, Kirby is already pitted, of course, and
which means he's lapped down.
Yep, but of course these lot in front of him are still yet to pit, so once they pit, he'll be back on the lead lap.
Yep, indeed, but I think he wants to unlap himself from these guys for good measure either way.
Yep, and is Kirby going to get underneath Fujiukas? Let's see. On the inside goes the Brazilian. He's going on the inside, and yet with the fresher tyres, he unlaps himself, and I think he's going to do the same to Ionescu as well for good measure into the final corner, and
right
yes,
away.
he does. So Ionescu and Fujiukas will resume their little battle unless one of them pits now, which they don't. So they're going to stay out for a little bit longer. But Keo Shani is coming.
Pit, though.
Yeah, Charles Chanat is in, as is Blake Moore in the Lotus. He's coming into the pits as well. And there's somebody else in the background who's also coming into the pits as well.
But that's coming in as well, too. Look, Ionescu's Creta has a leader there.
Yeah, as Patel come in, Gamba's into the pits. So I do think Patel... Yep, there's Patel. I can just see him. Yeah, Patel into the pits. Now, where will he come out in reference to Crest? That's going to be the question.
It'll be quite entertaining as the Chile makes a move here. I mean, hanging back a little bit.
Meanwhile, we're now at the halfway stage of the race, so we've completed 250 miles of this race. 100 to go.
100 laps, 250 miles. Let's see what's going to happen in this second half. And where will be Patel be in relation to Chris? Obviously, he'll start in front, I think, but no, he is behind. My mistake.
Patel rejoins. Well, where is Chris? I couldn't see him there. So there he is. So yeah, he's way in front. So gap's still. I would argue he's probably increased the gap from the last time before the pit stops happen.
Yeah, probably so. But he is fighting with. Yeah, McLaren over there. As Ionescu looks like he's diving into the pits as well.
Not sure which McLaren that is. He's fighting. Whether it's either Volker or Willows, but But either way, that McLaren has, I would presume, unlapped themselves, as Cress is now back up to third, and yet that is Willows unlapping himself, so he had to make a very early pit stop. I wonder if Willows had some kind of mechanical problem then, hence why he made the early
Nakogama
pit
exiting
stop.
the pit lane as well. As that Anderson goes for it very, very aggressively there, but that was a brilliant move.
Yep, and I think that was on the number 63 there. He just got by. I might be wrong on that, but that was a very aggressive move regardless.
Yeah, totally right.
As Graf has just finished his pit stop there. Obviously a disastrous race for him as far as he's concerned. Wee has finished his pit stop, as is Gicelli, and a few others is in as well. Lopez has just come into the pits. And Patel still in front of Kirby after the pit stop, but I would argue that Kirby may have closed in a bit from the last time before the pit stop stages happened.
Well, the gap is roughly about 5 seconds between what the two leaders should be right now.
Yep, as Crest is now
That's
trying to
Xavier
get...
Wee exiting the pits. He's going to be beating Crest here.
Did that help Patel a little bit? That's going to be a question there. As so far, Fujiyukas is still yet to pit. He's still being shown as the race leader, but Crest should get the lead back once Fujiyukas makes his way into the pits, whenever that will be. Unless he is in the pits now, and I've lost track of that. I'm not sure. But,
yes, he is now in the pits.
Yeah. So Fujiyukas has now finished his pit stop, I presume. So Crest is back in the lead.
Getting the second on that lap.
Yep. So as he's trying to negotiate the traffic now, then as Lopez has finished his pit stop, he comes out onto the track.
Looks like Chris is trying to overtake Parachki here. But he's having to deal about Wee as well. To deal with Wee as well, sorry.
Yep, as Cress is currently stuck where this traffic is with Wee and Parachki. And really struggling to get by. Could that potentially help Patel? Well, he's got his own traffic to deal with before we can get to him, that's for sure.
Yeah, indeed. It'll be very entertaining to keep an eye out on. He's got the gap again.
Yep.
So it's Kirby, as a matter of fact.
As Cress is trying to get underneath Parachki there. And I think he's finally got the lap on him there. And now can we try and follow through on Parachki if he can? But he's going to try and get in the slipstream and see if he can. But at the moment, Parachki staying in front for the meantime on Wee.
Yep, definitely.
As they now make their way into the final corner. That is a fight for 20th, by the way, for anybody who's curious, with that Parachki and Wee fight. As we now look at what the rest of the pack is doing. It seems that a lot of them seem to have separated a little bit after the pit stops. Ian Escu's ahead of Charles China after the pit stops there, but he's down in 9th position at the moment. So I don't know if... has Anderson pitted yet? I'm not sure. But
he has, but I'm not sure about Shaheen.
No, I think we saw Shaheen pit earlier, so I think he has pitted. So I guess Ionescu has lost a lot of time, it's fair to say, after this pit stop stage.
Yeah, but he can get back, of course, the fresher tires he has compared to others. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that.
As we just saw Gomez there, I think overtake Hamid for 14th position. So that's sorry, 15th position, I should say, as the timing tower updates itself. Parrish, meanwhile, on the back of Razin. Parrish has actually lost quite a lot of time as well, since he was close to the front earlier on the race, but he seems to have slipped off a little bit.
Yeah, obviously that damage very, very costly.
Patel's now getting held up by traffic himself, so he's having to contend with what Cress had to deal with, albeit with different drivers in the traffic. And if he's not careful, he gets held up too much, he might have Kirby to deal with.
Absolutely right, Joe.
As the gap, as you can see, log is up to 3.47 seconds. Contact there!
Bit of contact there with Ben Swallinger, and I'm not even sure who that other guy was. But that was very close shave with Daniel Adventure.
Yep, that was very close, but thankfully no need
Ditko is going to get beaten now.
So a lot of aggressive driving going on here, and quite a lot of contact than what we've been used to in past races, Rob, when it comes to people trying to do overtakes.
Yeah, clearly, not holding back anything are these guys.
Nope, definitely not, even though we're still quite a long way to go in this race. We've still got over 90 laps of the race still yet to complete before we can start corking the champagne, or in this case, open the glass of milk for whoever wins the race. I mean, I remember yesterday, I think it was Dennis Graff who said if he wins, I'm actually going to pour a glass of milk all over me. Well, given the race he's had today, I don't think that's going to happen, is it?
Yeah, I think he's going to have to keep that glass of milk in his fridge. As Rensko is very close to the back of Khalil Shahin, he's going to try to go for a move maybe into turn 3. Of course, he has tire advantage.
Yep, as they now make their way into the final 2 corners now then. As they now make their way into the final corner now then. Is Ionescu trying to put Shahin under quite a lot of pressure. This is the fight for 8th position now.
Yep, and it is. And just lost time in the pit stop stages. Towards the end of the stint, he was looking very weak as just for Soto makes the move on Florian Volker.
Yep, Volker down into that is P7 now as Suto has got into 6th place. Ionescu, is he going to try and have a look into turn 2? He thinks about it, but there's not enough of a gap for him to try and take advantage of, so he maybe has to wait for turn 3 as he gets into the slipstream of the Chip Ganassi driver.
That defense from Shahin looks to be airtight at the moment. I don't see any openings right now for him.
They now make their way through into turn 3. Now into turn 4 we go. Shahin going a little bit defensive there, but not too aggressively on Ionescu now. Then is Ionescu going to try and get him into turn 1? Let's see.
It'll be interesting to look at this. Meanwhile, Crest has increased his advantage. It's 4 seconds or Patel.
Yep, he's doing
Still not
very
trying anything, is Ionescu.
I'm not trying. I don't want to say anything too early yet because anything can happen within these 90 laps. But it's all looking good for Cress at the moment. It's fair to say.
Yeah, but Kirby is gaining on Patel quite substantially in the meantime. He's finally found his pace again that he had on prior stints.
Now under a second between the pair of them, as you can see. So it's around 0.8 seconds now between Patel and Kirby. So we could be
Absolutely
looking at
right.
We could be looking at Chip Ganassi 1-2 here and a bit of a battle for second happening quite soon in this race. There's Cress who's having to negotiate. And this is why, in fact, look at all this traffic they're having to negotiate.
Yeah, Patel just puts the lap on Lopez. You're not going to see that often in the top class, but nevertheless, Sazonov is in this fight as well. He was battling Lopez legitimately, but he's being a little bit of a nuisance for Patel here.
Indeed so, as Sazonov trying to unlap himself. Keep an eye on Kirby. He's right behind both Andrioli and Sazonov here. As there comes Kirby trying to get underneath Andrioli at the moment. He's got through on there. Is Lopez also going to follow through as well? Maybe gain a place on Andrioli. Let's see. As you can see just in the background there. But I think Andrioli is just going to hold on for the moment. So there's only one car now between Patel and Kirby. And that is in the form of Andrei Sazonov. Once Kirby gets by on him, he's now only got Patel to worry about. And in fact, I think he's going to try and lap him in turn 3.
He's going over it right now.
Underneath he
put on
goes.
too much of a fight.
Underneath he goes, and there he goes. Now it's just Patel that Kirby will have to chase down, and I think he's already getting right in the slipstream with the Lamborghini driver.
Yeah, we have a fight.
Have a fight for second place. Meanwhile,
Ionescu and the Vojokas have overtaken Shahin, unseen by the cameras.
It's like Shahin has lost 2 places then, so Shahin now down into 10th position, so he's now right in the cusp of that top 10 position. Can Ionescu now try and close up to Florian Volker, who currently occupies 7th, and I'm not sure if he had any chance to change his front wing at all when he came into the pits. I don't know if that's how it works on NL 2003, but if he has done, then maybe he'll get the downforce back. If not, then he's going to have to suffer from it for the rest of the race and have to put up a lot of a fight, especially now it looks like Ionescu is definitely starting to close in on him.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting keeping out on this gap. Is 2 seconds between pair of them at the moment. So watch the space.
Indeed so, as they now make their way down the straight. As they now go towards the final, well, the first few corners now. Then meanwhile, Adventure trying to unlap himself. As there goes Ionescu, who's just lapped Valdinger there. As Vujuga's trying to do the same thing. Gap for 0.45 between Patel and Kirby, so it's getting quite close in that fight.
Vujokas is not having it so easy in the meantime.
Meanwhile, Orman trying to attack Campana, though, as you can see. Where is the battle for second place, I wonder, around the track? There's Cress, and there is Patel and Kirby. Kirby quite close to Patel and getting very closer to him. They're also coming up to some more traffic in the form of Ennis Karachki in front.
Yeah, let's see how quickly they can negotiate him.
As, in fact, Kirby getting very, very close now. In fact, he might even get Patel before they even have a chance to lap Karachki. We'll see.
Not close enough in turn 2, but it depends on how they gain the slipstream pair of them. That could be a really big factor as they're chasing down his Parachki. Let him out of the way early. For Patel, I think he's not going to fight him too hard until turn 3. He's actually going to fight him. He's going to block him hard. This is the opportunity Kirby needed.
We'll see as well, but at the moment Kirby not able to find a way through on Patel at this stage. Is Patel going to try and lap Parachki? He's going to think about it, but he might have Kirby following by as well. Kirby is using Patel's slipstream to try and see if he can tag along as they now make their way into the first corner. Both of them have been able to pull a lap on Parachki. So again, it's just these two now fighting for second place. Where is Kirby going to try and get his first lunge attack on Patel? He's thinking about it into turn 2, but Patel just covers him off for the moment.
No chance here.
See if he can possibly try and get him into turn 3. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, UNESCO and Vojokas, that pair of them is...
Contact was made there. There was contact between
just a
Patel
little
and Kirby.
bit.
Kirby getting
But Kirby's
very
calmed the
aggressive.
place down this time.
As he though, because Patelli's still trying to hang it around the outside a little bit like we saw with Veldinger a little bit earlier on, but it looks like Kirby might just have the edge. Coming down the straight as they go side by side down towards turn 1. It looks like he's going to be a Chip Ganassi 1-2 into the first corner, and yep, Kirby is officially up into second place. It's a Chip Ganassi 1-2.
Yeah, that was very, very aggressive racing from pair of them. Meanwhile, Vojokas is up at 8th place. He's overtaking UNESCO. Next target for him is Florian Volker.
Yep. As make their way down the straight, Vujukas now up into 8th place. Meanwhile, Sazanov, a little bit of contact there with Parachki, but he gets his way through there. And is Sazanov, is Andrioli going to follow through as well? Of course, these two are fighting each other in Formula E this season, both Parachki and Andrioli. So obviously, you know how each other races in that series. That's for sure. But
those are two wildly different cars. It's not exactly an easy comparison, but he's going for it, and he's got him.
Andrioli passes Parachki right there then, as he'll now try and see if he can get a hold of Sazanov in front. As meanwhile,
we have the Cheli versus Lopez.
As Garma trying to lap Mocho at this point in time. Garma just outside the top 10 at the moment, I believe, because his number is not in the top 10 positions at this point in time. As you can see that Anderson, as you can see, up in 4th place, getting very, very lonely.
Volker's been overtaken by Vojokas, meanwhile.
As indeed, so he's got up into 7th place now as Vujukas, and now Ionescu wants a piece of him.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think he's tired of losing all those positions. He wants to get them back immediately, and he's going to go on the attack on Volker.
Going underneath Volker, is he going to get the move done? Down
First try.
Has a go, and he's got the move done, so he's up into 9th place.
Let's see if he can get closer and re-overtake Vojokas, perhaps.
Up into 8th place, I do apologise. Up into 8th place goes Ionescu, because I keep getting confused with that timing thing on the top right.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Meanwhile, look at this.
Meanwhile, 3 wide on the back.
Contact there a little bit more. It looked like Parrish there just swerved towards the left of Razin there. Luckily, that did not end in disaster.
Yeah, only just, though.
Just see, look, on the replay, they came very close, so I think that was Campana they were lapping, and then Parrish just didn't seem to keep an eye on Razin, and they clipped. Luckily, it didn't end in disaster. Now Parrish gets underneath Ormond there.
Yeah, my goodness me, what is this race becoming?
As Ormond, is he going to try and get back on Parrish? That is going to be the question. Is he still right within the gearbox of the Americans? We get a great helicopter cam of the final 2 turns there, and looking down on Ormond, Parrish, Razin, and I don't know who the car is.
Ormond's got a brilliant exit.
Ormond going to try and get Parrish back. The 2 Americans fighting for 14th position, I believe this is. 15th position, as they now make their way through the first turn. They've also got to keep an eye on Razin, who's just behind him as well in that scrap for 15th position, as Razin thought about having a go, but thought better of it in the end, as we also get a shot of what the Grand Prix circuit looks like as well from the left-hand side. As now Razin trying to have a go
for
Ormond.
it.
Is Razin going to get the move done on Ormond now then? Into turn 3, he's going underneath. Is the Lotus driver going to get through on the AJ Foyt driver as they go side by side?
Contact almost.
Almost contact there, but Razin gets the move done, and up to P16 goes the Indonesian.
Yeah, good stuff here.
Meanwhile, Campana is
coming into the pits.
This race has gone completely disastrous at this point as Kress trying to put a lap on his fellow compatriot Dennis Graff here. Of course, both of them race against each other.
Shuts the door almost. Oh, losing a little bit of time, but he's got the lap.
Indeed so, as Kirby, I wonder what he's starting to pull away, as you can see from Patel. I wonder what his pace is like compared to Kress. The gap currently 3.17 seconds, so we will keep an eye on that.
But let's worry about these guys in the meantime.
As they now make their way down the straight. Meanwhile, Moore is starting to attack. I think this is Child China in their fight for 10th place. So this is for the final place in the top 10. Child China trying his best to fend off from Blake Moore if he can.
Yeah, I think Joe Chen has been doing quite well so far, the 2019 winner. Blake Moore was mostly invisible, but he's definitely getting himself on the cameras now.
Indeed so, as is he going to try and get him into turn number 3? Let's see.
Could be a good opportunity. Let's see if he can take it. Not yet. Maybe cutting down into 4.
And he's
He's
thinking
gonna go
about
for
it.
it here, look.
Not quite enough alongside the 2019 winner to get the move done.
I'll give him credit for a good try, though.
Indeed, as they now make their way down a very, very long straight now then, but Child China doing a very good job to keep more back for the moment in their fight for 10th position.
Yeah, well said.
Meanwhile, it does appear like Kirby is starting to gain on Crest. In fact, it's gone down to 2.46, so I think Kirby's starting to lap a little bit quicker than Crest at this stage.
Yeah, he's pushing quite substantially at the moment. Meanwhile, Anderson seems to be having the exact same pace as Crest. That gap has been staying. Now, having just said that, it's gone down a bit. Maybe is Crest having some traffic?
I'm not sure. We haven't seen Crest for a while. He's not in this little traffic. One of
Look at Rosin here as Valdinger goes. Is that Valdinger? He goes very wide, nevertheless.
Is Valdinger. I think Valdinger is being lapped here, if I'm not mistaken. There's it's unseen by the cameras. Fraser's actually got by Norman. Sorry, you were saying, Ra?
I think Chris just crossed the line already. I think, yeah. He's just coming up to those lap cars.
1.7, 1.78. There is Kirby. You can just see him there. Look, he's just.
Here goes Willows making over on Hamid.
Inside he goes as he got the move done for P17. I think this will be as they go side by side, and Willows gets it done on Hamid as Graf is trying to unlap himself from this slot. Very close to contact there from Hamid, but luckily no harm done. Kirby will have to get through this lot as well. Let's not forget.
Yeah, but they shouldn't. Hopefully, they won't be making it too tough for him.
We'll see. Anyway, 1.78 was the gap last time round. What is it now? As we're on lap 125, 1.30. So I think Crest has got it up.
Oh, yeah, 25. Sorry.
I think he's got it up just a tiny bit, but not too much. Of course, Kirby is now coming up to this bit of traffic we were just alluding to.
Yeah, 1.3. Obviously, will be Kirby as turn now to face the pain.
Indeed so, as Kirby, is he going to try and get underneath? He does. He needs to be very
careful. He's not wasting any time.
He needs to be careful, though, because he knows there is a chance of victory here. That's up for grabs, as meanwhile Patel trying to get underneath.
How did they not collide? My goodness.
They did collide there, but luckily it didn't end in a crash, as Patel is doing everything to try and lap Sazonov, but Sazonov so far not letting him at the moment.
Yeah, Patel desperate to get back up to the pace of the leaders, but he's falling off in this stint.
Indeed so. The traffic really not helping out Patel, as Kirby is now trying to put a lap on Graf. As
Which he has done.
Crest is now coming up to some more traffic. He's just lapped Willows and Valdinger there, as Willows gets in front of Valdinger there. It's Willows currently in 17th. It's just been a disaster for Willows, really, given where he qualified yesterday.
Yeah, indeed. What a shame, as Corby is now onto the back of Ben's Valdinger. Valdinger has been probably the toughest back marker to lap. Maybe other than Mocho. How tough is it going to be for Peter Corby?
Indeed so, as they now cross the line, as they now make their way
Not
through.
too tough, he's left Valdinger. So Willows is the only car left between the leaders. And I don't think Willows wants to stay between them.
Oh, he wants to try and get back on the lead lap if he can. But look at this now. Look how close Kirby is now, because Willows is now in between both the Chip Ganassis. We've got to fight for the lead here. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, Kirby's going to have to make the move on Willows first. And he doesn't want to go for it right now. Maybe into 4.
As they now make their way towards the final turn now then.
They're catching up to Daniel Fraser, these two also.
Kirby going to try and put a lap on Willows on this occasion now then, as he's right in the slipstream now then of Willows. Is he going to try and get underneath into the first corner? And no, he's
not.
Maybe into turn 2, let's see.
Could be, yeah.
As he's thinking about it, he's going underneath, and Kirby has put a lap on Willows at the moment, although Willows is still going to stick side by side, but I think Kirby will use Crest's slipstream to get himself just in front, which he is going to do. So now it's just the 2 Chip Ganassi cars fighting for the lead.
Yeah, it's a straight up fight here. Nothing in between, but they are catching up to another lapped car, Daniel Fraser, or soon to be lapped, I should have said. But look how much closer Kirby's gone. This will be a great opportunity towards turn 1. Chris has been leading for so long, the last 60 laps or something like that. But Kirby might retake it right now.
On the inside goes the Brazilian. Is Kirby going to take the lead once again in the Indy 500? And the answer to that is yes. Kirby retakes the lead.
Chris held it for a long time, but Kirby finally found some pace after that shocker of a previous stint.
Indeed so, as they now make their way down the straight. Hello, Panos, who's just joined us in the stream chat. But Kirby back in the lead of the race. It's been a while since he's been leading, but now he finds himself back in the lead. Definitely this stint working out well for the Brazilian. Question is, though, can he make it work for the remainder of the race? I do think we've still got another stop to go, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, absolutely, and there still is traffic.
So anything could still change from now until the final lap.
Totally right, and the threat of another caution could shake everything up.
We haven't had a caution, let's not forget, for, I would say, nearly 100 laps now. So we've gone quite the distance, it's fair to say. And given all the threats going on about the Indy 500, potentially this being the last race, I think this is a good promotion to say maybe this shouldn't be the last race, and I think we should continue. So it's definitely fair to say that.
I second that opinion, yeah.
Yes, so although it got off to a bit of a shaky start, I think it's fair to say it's working very well now.
Absolutely right there, Joe. I can agree more. As Shaheen is trying to go for the move here on Frank Lopez, it is.
As he's going to try and see. I don't know if this is for legit position, because I don't know where Lopez is, but whatever the case, Shaheen has got through on Lopez regardless. And no, that wasn't for position, that was just to unlap himself there.
Yep. I still think we're due on our caution before the end of this race, though. It's gotten very quiet.
Yep, but we've still got plenty of battles to entertain us regardless, though.
Yeah, well said.
Now, Ormond is once again fighting with Razin. These two have been fighting for quite a while in their scrap for 14th position.
Yeah, indeed. When is this fight gonna end?
As now they come around the final two turns on the racetrack. Of course, we will see Ormond again racing in the OC, because of course he will be taking part in the entrance series, which starts during the week of the Austrian Grand Prix. So we will be seeing him race again. It'd be very interesting to see if he can fight for the title in the first ever series of that entrance series. But we will, that is, of course, for a couple of weeks' time. For now, he's obviously focusing on trying to get a good result here at the Indianapolis 500.
Absolutely right.
It's now, we look at Joe Pedro Kirby, as he's already starting to pull a gap on Chris. You can see now it's up to 1.13 seconds. And with Patali's still quite a long way off the top two, even though Chris has been dealing with this traffic for quite a while.
Yeah, but don't forget, it's coming up to 2 lap cars are fighting each other, so we will lose some time in this.
Indeed so. As we now come around the final corner, as we now start lap 133 of 200 in this race, and we're 17 laps away from the 3/4 mark of this race. So although it's got off to a bit of a slow start, it's fair to say that laps have been chalking out quite quickly. As Garber's made another pit stop, as you can see.
Yeah, he's exiting the pits now. As here we have Joe China battling with Gomez. This is for position, of course, mind you. So the two former winners battling out, as Kirby has got onto some traffic.
As he comes up towards the final two corners, he's come up to the battle in Razin and Ormond at this point, so he's going to have to really be patient in negotiating them, but at the same time not lose too much time.
I don't think he's showing any patience here. He's going for the move straight away.
Yep, he's going to go through on Ormond here. Is he also going to get by on Razin? Razin's actually going to close the door here, so a little bit sketchy there from Razin, you'd have to say.
Well, Jokits has made another place, meanwhile he's into 6th place.
Yep, so Fujiyuka's up into P6, getting in front there of Joseph Federic Suto. Ionescu in 8th, of course. In 9th position is the number 96 of...
Kirby still hasn't cleared Razin, but the 96 is...
More,
who is it, actually? Oh, it is Blackmore, yeah. Thank you.
So he's actually got himself into the top 10 now in the Lotus. Volker, the defending winner, of course, currently holding on to the top 10. But I think the way it's going at the moment, anything could still happen, of course, from now until the final lap. But I think at the moment, Volker is not looking likely to retain his crown.
No, definitely not. As Gomez goes for move here, well executed.
Indeed, as Kirby is now finally negotiated through on Razin and Ormond there, and it looks like Kress is actually having to deal with his own traffic, and so is Patel at the same time.
Yep, and Patel clearly dropping out the pace at the moment.
Towards the final couple of corners now on the track. The left-hander is now underneath goes Shahin on Hamid there, and was that for position? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's Sazonov. He's
Patel
got
is
to be
being
careful.
chased by Salanov here, but also by
But
Andrioli.
Andrioli actually trying to overtake Sazonov if he can for 19th position. Let's see if he can get the move done.
He's gonna go for it, but not close enough here.
Nope, not yet, as it seems to be a little bit of a wider line there taken from Halil Shahin. A bit of a shame for Shahin, really, Rob, given that he started on pole. He just hasn't gone his way during this this stage. There's contact there between
Oh my
Campana
goodness.
and Ticelli there, but luckily no major carnage there. But as I was saying, it's really not gone well for Shahin after he started on pole today.
Yeah, on the topic of Shine, I'm really not sure what to say here, to be honest. Just teams seem to have the pace. Maybe I had an issue unseen by cameras or something, but I really can't explain it, honestly.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, as Anderson's having trouble to negotiate through this bit of traffic. You can see there, it took a very strange wide line going through into turn 4 there.
Yeah, Anderson has 10 seconds on the next car, but I think that gap will go down a little bit now as he lost Wallinger.
That next car, of course, is Maxim Titkov in the Chip Ganassi racing car, followed by Fujiukas. I wonder if Fujiukas is actually starting to gain on Titkov. We will keep
He definitely
an eye.
is gaining. As look at this fight, Campana making a move on Lopez.
It is
Where
now
to unlap
under
himself or legitimate is it to unlap himself.
is now under 2 seconds between Titkov and Fujiukas, so we could see a battle for 5th starting to develop quite soon.
I think Ionescu is also gaining onto just Ferg Soto.
Yep, it's getting very, very interesting indeed as we now round the final turn.
Kirby's in, right? Yep, he
Kirby
is.
in. Kirby's in, so we're into the second round of pit. Good spot there, Rob. We're into the second round of pit stop. So
But is this scheduled or does he have some sort of problem?
Oh, I think this is scheduled. We did talk about earlier on that we are expecting one more stop, and I think this is a scheduled stop. So
has to be it, surely.
Yep. Let's see how quick the stop is going to be then for Joe Pedro Kirby.
Obviously, we can't see the timer on the pit stops unlike the other series, but it's a small price to pay. It doesn't really mean anything either way.
Yep. Let's see where Kirby is going to emerge then after this pit stop now then.
You don't want to be in a lot of traffic.
Also, Prez is in as well.
He's a lap down, as you can see, which is quite normal, but you just said that Cress is in the pits, I think.
Yeah, he's got the 0.0, so it's the sign.
So Patel is actually in the lead, so yeah, Cress is in the pits now. So the top 2 already getting their second pit stops out of the way. The question is, though, where is Cress going to emerge in comparison to Kirby? I'm not expecting him to jump Kirby, but who knows, really, what's going to happen. Is Patel also going to come in this lap? Let's see. Nope, it doesn't look like he's peeling to the left, so he's going to stay out for a little bit longer as Shahin and I think that is Willows is trying to unlap him at the moment. But Cress is in the pits, as we know, trying to see where his car is in the pit lane. There he is. He's just coming out of the pit lane now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the gap to Kirby is like.
But where is Kirby, in fact? Because we've just seen Cress just come out of the pits there. And there is Kirby, in fact. I think it's going to be closer than what it was previously.
Behind.
But
don't forget, Cress has to get up to speed.
Yes, indeed. So, but Kirby is still ahead after the pit stop. So, of course,
Ionescu has overtaken, what is his name again? It was Soto on some of the cameras.
Yes, he has. So he's got up into 5th, but of course these lot are still, excuse me, yet to pit. But don't forget as well, Cress does have 1 lap fresher tyres to Kirby, so maybe that could come to his advantage. Maybe a little bit later on in the race. We'll have to wait and see on that. And maybe not much, but you never know, of course, as Ormond has got by on Charles China there, I think.
Yeah, don't forget, Cress has had a brilliant stint, Kirby has had a brilliant stint, so it's all to play for. Yeah, sure. Vojokas is also gaining on the back of the 93 of Maxim Titkov, so we will keep an eye on that battle. Having said that, I think somebody's just coming to the pits. That's Julius Anderson, number 7. And Titkov is pitted as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Has he? Yeah, yes.
Nevertheless, Ormond, in this battle with us in still. How long will this battle continue? Razin clearly giving his best shot here to stay in front of Nathan Ormond. Meanwhile, here we have Daniel Adventure, P28. Not doing much, honestly, I'm afraid. Volker, meanwhile, is trying to unlap himself from Rahul Patel. Let's see if he'll be able to do it. I'm not quite sure. I'll take a look at this. Here is Kress. He's behind Lopez and in front of the Chelly. He needs to clear these guys if he wants to get any closer to Corbe.
Yep, indeed.
Lopez not making it easy. Kress has to go a
Yeah,
little
yes.
high. Now Lopez is coming into the pit, so Kress has lapped him. That was a little costly, I think.
Yes, indeed.
The Chelly's still trying to unlap himself from Kress. As in the meantime, Lopez, you can see him coming in. It's not just him, it's some other cars as well. Orman, meanwhile, as still banging with Rasim, but Franco Gamba is joining the party too. Orman is actually going to come in here. Darting to the left quite early. As Alien Adventures got quite a lot of overspeed here on Chao China, and he's going to try to overtake him.
Yep, indeed. I think
Look at this,
Patel is
Corby,
also
putting a lap
in.
on Sazonov. And there's Campana as well. Corby will have to lap Volker next, I believe.
Yep.
He's got 7-second advantage over Kress as it stands. Patel is in. So that means Vajokas will inherit the lead temporarily. The former Pulsar, of course, from 2 seasons ago, is now leading this race to 99. But where will Patel emerge in this mess? As here goes Shaheen. Trying to go for a move here. Can't get it done. I mean, he can't get it done. Sorry, he did get it done. My mistake. Corby, meanwhile, gets the move done on that McLaren. So yeah, it's looking good for Jean-Pierre Corby at the moment, but this race is far from over.
Yep, indeed. Don't know where will Patel emerge. I think he is behind Kress.
That's what Joke is coming into the pits and is going to inherit their lead temporarily.
Yep. Oh, there's a caution, right?
Caution! What for?
I don't know. Wait, for some. Did the caution just move, or is it? Yeah, it is.
What kind of caution? Who could it be for, man?
Yeah, now this has changed the race.
Yeah, everything's turned upside down, and I wish Joe had seen it as well. But what exactly has gone on, man? Did I just call out a caution for no reason, or has there actually been a crash? I told you earlier we were due a caution. We finally got it. But why did we get it is a mystery.
Yep, indeed. That's weird to see a caution. Let's see what has happened.
Either way, this changes everything. But I was exiting the pits. He went out to the grass. What is he thinking there? But was he the one who got involved in the crash?
Can't tell, really. Let's see. No, not really. He's running
This
fine.
is bizarre.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody had a mechanical problem? Or, I don't even know, man. Honestly. As Kress was not overtaken, actually. He was behind the entire time. But some people haven't pitted yet before when the caution had been called are going to get the opportunity to pit now. And this could really, really change everything. Because, of course, you can't overtake under caution.
Yeah. This is bizarre.
Lopez was racing side by side with Ionescu here. He unlapped himself from him, but they didn't collide.
That is the most clearest caution I've seen, but yeah.
More coming into the pits.
That's bizarre. And the field's pretty much bunched up.
You went back to lap 0.
No,
Now we're back on the race for Jokas. I thought he pitted already.
Well,
Ionescu has pitted the caution.
What the? Kress is in. What? It's just Kloss has retired. Wasn't that separate? That was the previous incident, or was it? Yeah, that was a long time ago. There could be Campana.
Yeah, but what's the
Yeah,
leaderboard like right now? Patel
that
leads, but has he pitted? Yeah, he has pitted. So
we saw him pit.
so Corby's
So
second. Then who's 25 actually? There's traffic all over the place. Like it's difficult to tell, and there is no unlapping, of course.
didn't see any debris, Joe. So yeah.
As I have to be right back.
Yeah, of course. Rodriguez leading the pack for now. We are on lap 147 out of 200. We're getting to the three-quarter stage of the race, the final quarter. They're gonna pull off to the pits. I think the Lotus is carried on, right? Yep, we're looking at Campana. Of course, he's 4 laps down. Me neither. So at the moment, the leaderboard is Patel from Ionescu. Then we have Suto, then Kirby. Then we have the 71 of Razin in 5th. And then number 76 of Chow China. Yeah, and then the 25, who could that one be? Just trying to look. It's Sassanov. And then we have Perez.
So what have I missed?
We're still going on the caution, but yeah.
Wait, so is this top 2 legitimate?
I have no idea. Yeah, a few cars pitted. We'll have more cars coming in as well.
Because I know for a fact Patel and Ionescu pitted. So have they both jumped Kirby with the caution?
I think Kirby might have pitted. Same with Chris. Again.
Pitted again?
Yeah,
That's
they
a
pitted
terrible
again.
tragic call.
Yeah, they were ahead of Patel, so yeah, really bizarre. But the only positive here is Kirby's only 4th and Chris is 8th. But long way to go. We got a
Is there
little
actually
trick
a
on the
thing
track,
on this
lads.
game?
No. No.
Well, I was asking if that could be an actual thing on this game, but nah. Meanwhile, Nathan in the chat saying Phantom Caution, huh? Maybe, and Franco talking about pizza Pringles.
That was a long time
Okay,
ago.
so there's a debate in the chat over the favorite flavor of paprika. And over in Romania, we only have 2 flavors, basic and sour cream and gill. So, you know which one my favorite is, and it's not the basic. So Patel is the new legitimate leader of the race with Ionescu in second and Suto in third. My goodness me, this race has been turned upside down. But the first cars to be taking the green flag will not be the race leaders, they'll be back markers.
Yeah, and it's Vijayukas in 12th.
How is he a lap down? I could have sworn he was in front of Ionescu.
Might have pitted again.
My goodness. Now then, the 2 who stayed out longest have really, the 3, Suto included, have really benefited from this mess.
But of course. I think whoever clears the back markers can run away.
Yeah. Well, nevertheless, Wojciechowski will be leading the field, but he won't be leading as a race leader. Rahul Patel somehow is the race leader again, and Robert Ionescu somehow jumped second when he was like 28 seconds down on the leader. He's back in second place. This could be a very entertaining finish. We got 50 laps of action after this. And my goodness, this has been thrown into an entirely different ballpark. We thought it could be an easy win for Corby. Now, anyone on the lead lap could win it, honestly.
Yeah.
We're waiting for Joe to get back, but we're on board with Rahul Patel. He'll be the first of the leaders to get going on this start. Not the first car overall, but here we go. Vajokas is about to speed up. And when Patel speeds up, that's when the proper race will begin. It'll be Patel v Ionescu, v Suto v Corby for the moment. And there goes Patel up to speed. There'll be quite a lot of back markers.
Yep, you have to clear them all. Trying to clear, I think that's Nathan Orman.
He hasn't done it just yet. He's gonna wait for two. Is he? No, Orman's shutting the door aggressively.
Yeah, he was trying to go for the move on.
Watch
On
for
the car
Ionescu. He's
ahead,
getting
yeah.
onto Patel. This is for the
Yes,
lead.
he is.
He's not gonna go for it into free, surely not.
Nope.
Into turn 4. Is he close enough? Both him and Patel have been running quite hard downforce because they weren't that strong on the straights, but nevertheless, Patel holds on. Watch for Suto. He might get into this battle as well, and Kirby. Nevertheless, Nisku's gonna get a great run in towards turn 1. Can he do anything to attack Patel? I think Patel will hold on into 1. Meanwhile, Ormond, he starts getting much, much closer to Nathan Ormond. Will he make way?
No,
Still
he
no.
won't.
Patel not going too low or too high. That could be to his benefit. But now, are people gonna go left or right? We will see. As Patel is being impeded by the middle of this. Nisku's trying to go for the inside. No, not quite. He's staying right behind Patel and Ormond. And through goes Patel.
Yep.
Who is that there lapping right now? Is that... It's not Tirkov, is it?
Might be Tickov, but it's causing a lot of chaos. Look at Kirby.
Absolutely
Unesco's
right.
trying to go for the move.
Yeah, Patel.
He's taking it. Kirby going through for second.
Incredible stuff right now. Corby is back up to second place, but Ionescu is leading this race. There's a car exiting the pits meanwhile, and we're still waiting for Joe to get back, of course. Not sure if he can get back. That's Tirkov actually coming out of the pits, or someone else they were battling. Nevertheless, Corby's trying to go for the outside of Ionescu. Never gonna work.
He's going to be compromised. Oh, not a caution. Smoke
Caution
from
back
the
again.
back of
Volker.
Volker.
What's happening with Volker there? Does he have a problem already? Yeah, it's a problem for Florian Volker. Or is it damage?
No,
Has he
it must
broken
be
his
a problem.
camshaft, perhaps?
It's a problem, it seems. Yeah, he
Oh
got
my
it in the
goodness.
straight. Yeah.
So his engine's failing him like that. So the reigning Indy 500 champion definitely will not be defending his crown. Now it's 100% official.
Now everything is wide open now.
Ionescu got in front of the traffic. Corby is still... Ionescu has put Graf between himself and Corby there. But will people pit? That could change everything. As look how much
there's
smoke has been kicked up there.
Yeah, of course, for Volker, as you could see. I don't think there was time marks. It was definitely for Volker.
Yeah, the engine problem getting much more intense. He's bringing back into the pits.
Or is it before? It must be before. What has just happened?
There's no way somebody else crashed. Or is there?
For some reason it was before as well, because someone came in the pits. It was Tickov who came in the pits. Was it him that was involved on the previous lap?
Just like Alonso in 2017, says John in our Discord text chat. So yeah, very well said.
Ooh, yep. And it was that ran into the back of Tickov. And it was Gomez.
You know, yeah, my goodness. They're calling Gomez in a little bit of an argy-bargy time. You know, Franco said good taste when I told him what my favorite Pringles is in this country. Nevertheless, we do have another caution.
Ionescu's now in.
Did you just pit?
Yeah,
Just
Volker's
him or
out
other
with,
people as well.
Yep. Clutch problem for Florian Volker.
Dear God. So just Ionescu pitted. Or somebody else as well.
Didn't see, but I assume it is only Ionescu, but he is an
I don't know,
eight.
it's a whole lot of people.
Not not only in Muskin. Razin is also in as well, which they're in a lot of drafts in.
Is Ionescu actually in P8 or because I can't? No, there he is. I can see. Or is that Savior Wee? It's very confusing, that pair now.
Indeed. And somehow
Oh no,
we have.
there he is.
Yeah.
At the back of that queue.
He
I think
might
this
have
was the wrong
lost it.
call. Unless he has enough fuel to go to the end, the others don't. Nevertheless, he's just thrown away track position.
Well, now we have less back markers now because the ones that were gonna get lapped are now back on the actually lap.
Yeah, I think Dacia Vajir might have thrown away a win with this one, but I'm not sure. I think
Right.
Patel and Corby will be the fight again, but watch for Kress and Anderson. But Graf is actually the provisional race leader, even though, race leader in quotation marks, because he's not actually
Yeah.
leading, he's a few laps down, but he is the car closest to the pace car. Is anybody else coming in? No.
Nope. Probably will end this lap.
Yeah, I guess so. And let's go have a tire advantage over other drivers, but I'm not sure if throwing away track position was the correct call. Nevertheless, we'll get an update on the standings right now. Corby, of course, is the leader.
Back.
Welcome back, Joe. Hope you're alright.
Yeah, a bit chaotic, wasn't it, since I had to disappear for dinner. My suspicion about
Well,
the,
I hope
the
you
pace
enjoyed
car,
it.
I know, oh, thanks. My suspicion with the pace car, I know Rahul's just disagreed. I've got a feeling it might be debris, because I know that in NASCAR they like to do safety cars for debris. So I know we couldn't see any debris, but you never know, of course, it might have disappeared. So that's my only suspicion on that.
Yeah. Regardless, Joe, about that, no, on that topic, Joe, we've seen some interesting strategy calls during these cautions. What do you think?
Yeah, very interesting, and some a bit bizarre as well, if I may say so myself. But either way, Kirby, thanks to all of that, has got himself back in the lead.
Yeah, but it was really touch and go because he had pitted just a few laps after having pitted already, and then Ionescu pitted for the second caution, which was strange. I think both these calls. Either way, this has put Patel right back in contention.
Pretty sure Michael Clark is not in this race, Nathan. But anyway, as obviously we're having another lap under the safety car, so we have passed the three-quarter mark of this race now on lap 155, and it's basically just a sprint to the end now. You would think.
Yeah, definitely, with traffic getting involved too.
It's now going to get very, very interesting because, who knows really how this race is going to play out now with all of
Who is
this,
the number
really.
4?
The number 4, that's Nathan Ormond.
All right. Yeah. Correct. Thanks. He's on the lead lap again.
Yeah.
Yes. He seems like he's took advantage of these pace car periods, and now he finds himself in the top 10.
Yeah, because don't forget there was a big fight right before the previous caution.
Look who else is made it in the top 10. Look in 5th place. That is, I believe, Ennis Parachki.
Wow, absolute clubhousery.
Even Blake Morris
number 19.
Yeah, don't forget, Ormond was just about to be lapped by Ionescu and Corby, and they're battling each other for the lead. But thanks to that caution, he's able to get back on the lead lap.
P6 actually, Blake, not P7. But
it is
anyway, as I was on about more, No,
the number 19 that you were mentioning.
Anyway, thanks to Volker's clutch issue, we're now down to 30 cars as a result. And I mentioned in the Discord chat, that just reminded me of how Fernando Alonso's engine blew out in the real-life 2017 race with that same car, in fact. So a bit of nostalgia there. But anyway, pace car is in this lap. We're going to get underway right on the next lap.
Absolutely right, Joe. We're going to get back to crunch time, I think. Graf will lead the field, but Corby will immediately try to overtake him. And will Graf try to help out his good old pal Patel, his compatriot Chris? Or who will Graf help out? Because he may not be king, but at the moment he is the kingmaker. at the
Kirby will
moment.
need to think tactically, though, otherwise he may lose the lead to either Patel or Cress. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out, of course. And who knows, maybe even Anderson could feature in this, given that he's now right behind this lot now and currently in 4th position. But anyway, we're around the final turn and we'll see the pace car peel into the pits.
Don't forget about Ionescu and the alternate strategy, those fresher tires. He might be able to push, but he has a lot of traffic to clear. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But nevertheless, back to racing, we're about to go.
And hopefully this will be till the checkered flag, but we'll wait and see.
It's time to get cracking. Corby will accelerate, and he'll try to lap Graf as quick as he can. But Patel's got a better launch.
Yep, as Patel has definitely got a better launch than Kirby. Is he going to try and go for it into turn 1? He's going to go to the inside. Is Patel going to get the move done? Nope, Kirby shuts the door there. But Patel
still
might
high.
actually try... He's still quite high there. Patel could get him into turn 2.
He's got him!
As he's still trying to hang it around the outside. Is Kirby? As they're going to go side by side. Who's got the switcher on Graf to try and help out as they go side by side down this back straight? Looks like Kirby's got an edge, but can Patel try and get him into turn 3? Let's see. Into the 3rd corner. And no, Kirby's going to stay ahead.
Can he stay ahead into 4 as well, though? That remains to be seen. Yes, he can, for a moment.
Can indeed, as they now make their way down the straight now then. And now
Graf is pulling away, though.
But it don't matter because now Patel is looking to the inside of Kirby, who also dragged Cress and Anderson along. And Patel, has he got the lead this time by Kirby trying to hang it around the outside? But Patel has this time got the lead. Is Cress also going to follow through? Let's see. As Fraser tries to get underneath Anderson, but that's not for position, I don't think. So that's just to try and unlap himself. But anyway, Patel back in the lead.
Yes, indeed. Great stuff from Hul Patel, but Kirby's not done.
Not done yet, as both of them are now trying to pull a gap on Cress and Anderson. Meanwhile, as it looks like they come around the final turn there, looks like is that Parrish trying to get underneath Fraser there? I'm not sure, but anyway, back down the straight. Is Kirby going to try and retake the lead of Patel? Let's see.
He's definitely going to try and in towards turn 1, maybe? No, not close enough. Watch for Anderson, he's very close to back of Cress. He might try something.
He could do as they now make their way through into turn 2, as now Cress is starting to get back within touching distance, and same with Julius Anderson as well. The 4 cars now fighting for the lead of this race.
Yep, indeed. What a fight we're having here. Kirby's definitely pushing as hard as he can, but look at Cress. He gains so much though. Into turn 3, he's going to go for it.
Yep, and let's not forget as well, as I touched upon earlier, if you finish in the top 5, you'll get a guaranteed entry into next season's Indy 500.
Contact there.
Sign up, of course. There was nearly contact there between the 2 Chip Ganassi cars. Is Anderson going to take advantage of that? Let's see.
He's definitely going to try, but I don't think he's got enough of a run in towards the first corner.
Not quite enough as they make their way through turn 1 now then on the track, as they now make their way towards turn 2. Patel doing everything he can to fend off from Kirby, as Kirby tries everything he can to get the lead back as they come out of turn 2 now then.
Yep, indeed. Kirby very, very desperate, I think. He knows he can't afford to losing positions.
Through into turn 3 now, then we go. They're going to stay single file through into here as they'll start lap 161 next time round. Kirby tries to have a little go. He's looking underneath. Is he going to retake the lead from Patel? Side by side they go through turn 4.
That was a very nice try, but it's not finished yet.
He's going to stay on the inside. It seems that the Chip Ganassi's got a little bit more straight line seat compared to the Lamborghini, although it looks like Patel just grabbing a little bit of that switching from Graf in front, but it's
Kirby's
not going to be
the one.
Kirby. And Kirby retakes the lead as meanwhile Anderson tried to have a go at Crest there into the first corner.
Yep, indeed. And this fight isn't done yet. Patel not being able to attack Kirby right now, but the others might be if they overtake him quick enough.
They come down this back straight now. They head towards the turn. Here comes Crest, who's looking to the inside of Patel. Is he going to get second place and make it a Chip Ganassi 1-2? Down the inside.
Yes, he is.
He goes to the corner, and that's Peter. And I think Anderson has also followed through. Yes, he has. There's a bit of contact there between Patel and Fraser.
Not just that, look. Parastar is trying to unlap himself as well.
As
That's
now
3 places lost for Patel in the space of a single lap.
And here comes Anderson. Can he try and get second place off of Tobias Crest? Let's see, but it looks like Fraser is trying to help out his teammate here and try and do some teamwork here to try and prevent Anderson from getting through on Crest. He gets underneath as Kirby tries to lap Graf if he can, but Graf is not letting him through.
He's not having the easy, is he?
Definitely not so, as Fraser has got ahead of Anderson, so definitely helping his teammate out there. Good teamwork there from Chip Ganassi, you'd have to say.
Absolutely right. Meanwhile, Kirby is being impeded by Graf Major, but I think he might clear him here. Yes.
Looks like he Yeah, he's got him this time by, so it's going to allow him to pull away more from Kress and even Anderson as well. And you could say as well, Patel is starting to close back in as well. But he looks like he's being pushed by Parrish, who's trying to unlap himself at the moment. Is Fraser going to think about unlapping himself on Kress? Let's see.
I think he might definitely consider it, but there's maybe some instructions on Team Wall telling him not to do it.
To turn two, look at this. Patel tried to have a little look there. He was being a little bit ambitious there, but he's definitely got himself back in this group.
Totally. Meanwhile, further back, I think Ionescu is trying to make a move on the 25.
25 car being, I think that is one of the Andretti cars, if I'm not mistaken, if I scroll up. That is Andrei Sazonov. So he's actually got up into the top 10 out of nowhere as well. So a lot of people getting into the top 10 after this pace car period.
Totally right. So Kirby's advantage is like now, it is 1.8 seconds.
Into turn one we go, as looks like Fraser doing everything he can to protect Kress, although he might try and unlap himself here into turn two if he can, but no, he doesn't. Anything to try and give a buffer between Kress and Anderson is all good for Chip Ganassi, and as you can see, Kirby continuing to increase the gap to nearly 2 seconds, as you see on the right hand side. Is Anderson going to lap Fraser this time by into turn three? Let's see.
Not so fast.
Quite there, then Patel starting to drop back a bit more now then from this little group through into the final turn we go now then, as they make their way onto the pit straight now then, as it looks like Fraser's going to try and unlap himself. This could be the opportunity that Anderson is waiting for.
Yep, indeed. Maybe 9 to 1, definitely he'll have a shine at 2.
Anderson takes a wider line there, going through into turn one there, and Fraser still not able to lap Kress at this point in time.
He's gone very high, but us compromising.
Indeed so, as they now make their way down the straight now then. And is Fraser going to do it this time by? Is he going to try and unlap himself? He thought about it, but he's going to hang back for the moment. So far, Fraser creating that buffer that Kress needs on their own, and at the same time to Kirby.
Yep, indeed, and this is helping Dodo Kirby quite substantially, as Kress going to catch Graf soon enough.
Comes Fraser now then. Is he going to try and unlap himself this time by? Is he going to stick behind as per usual? He's going to have a look to the inside, but nope, Kress is going to hold on for the moment. As Anderson does everything he can to get back within the slipstream there at this point in time.
Take a look at this. Hamid and Parachki are fighting it out for position, I think. Or is Hamid a lap down?
No, they're not. No, he's not. That's Hamid's a lap down from all of this.
Take a look at this. It's Ionescu against Sazonov in an on-track battle.
That's Andreoli's trying to get.
Sorry
that's
about
Andreoli's trying to get back there, and I think Andreoli's a lap down if I'm not mistaken. There,
yeah,
it's all kind of mixed up at the moment. It's quite hard to tell who's wherever, given how mixed up the pace car made everything.
Yeah, very, very true.
As, look at this now. Graf is now coming up to this lot as well, so maybe he could create something for Anderson.
He shut the door aggressively, but Kress is through. So it's Fraser.
And is Anderson going to follow through as well? No, he's not.
Surprising.
Coming down the straight now then, as Patel's now getting away a little bit from, I think that was that Parrish he was getting away from? I'm not too sure. It might have been someone else.
Yeah, probably.
As now Graf trying to get back at. There's now 2 cars now in between Anderson and Kress. This is not going to make Anderson very happy. I can tell you that for a fact.
Yeah, I think you might have to worry about Patel potentially catching back up to him, though. We'll see.
Graf trying to get back underneath Fraser if he can, but it's not going to work out there, as Anderson does everything he can. In fact, Graf now getting underneath Fraser, and I'm not sure if this is for position.
Very well executed, but nevertheless, he's got him.
For position. And now it looks like Anderson's finally going to lap Fraser as a result of this, as he goes side by side down the straight, and he has done. Now can he lap Graf and then try and get back after Tobias Kress? We will see. But look at this, Patel has gained a little bit as a result.
Yeah, he's tippy-toeing closer to that free spot he lost earlier. Just gaining ever so slightly.
Through the final turn we go, and onto the pit straight now then, as they now make their way towards the first few turns on the racetrack. In fact, Fraser's trying to unlap himself again on Anderson as they go side by side over there, and once again, Fraser doing a good job. And now look at this. Patel is now back with Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson lost a lot of time there. And it's a prime opportunity for Rahul Patel to go at it and get that position.
3.66 is the gap between Kirby and Kress for reference there. Meantime, Patel on the inside of Anderson. Is he going to get that podium place off the lead as they now come around?
Not yet.
Goes side by side. He's got the inside for turn 4. And
Now he's
there
got
we
it.
go. I think so, unless no, Anderson trying to hang it around the outside as they now come down at the pit straight as they go side by side down towards turn 1.
Who's got the straight line speed advantage here? I won. It looks like it's Anderson.
Anderson going to stay in front for the moment, so Patel will have to hang back for the moment at this point as we've got, including this lap, 31 laps to go.
Yep, that's Parrish, I think, behind trying to get himself unlapped from these dudes.
Meanwhile, look at this lot.
What can I say?
It's and Adventure, and I think that is Sazonov. That's Sazonov trying to lap him, of course, but he's got to be aware because
Barashki's in this train too.
As is Ionescu as well. Ionescu trying to see if he can find any way through on Priachki, as now Lopez is in between the pair of them at this point in time right now as they come down this very, very long straight now then.
Lopez is going to go for the move first.
Priachki, can Ionescu take full advantage of that? Let's see as they go into the first corner. Ionescu, he's trying to get underneath Lopez on the inside of Priachki, and Lopez is through. Is Ionescu going to follow through as well as he goes side by side with the Macedonian
Yeah, he's got
driver?
Priachki.
Yes, he has. He's up into P6 now then. Can he get a hold of Andrei Sazonov? That's a question. But Sazonov has got 2 cars in between him and a bit of a gap forming as well. So he really needs to get the hammer down if he wants P5 and that secured spot to get
He
into
needs to
the
get away from
500.
Franco Gamba, who's attacking here.
Yeah, but he's a lap down anyway. He needs to really get his foot down if he wants to get that guaranteed 5th place to get into the 500 next season. Should he sign up, of course.
I will.
Anyway, so now they go down towards the first corner now. Then the gap up to 4.74 seconds now between Kirby and Crest. And Razin, meanwhile, is currently in 8th as Andrioli is trying to unlap himself there then. And all of this could allow Ormond, in fact, who's actually not far away from Razin to get there. But he's been compromised a little bit going through into that corner there. I'm not really sure where Moore is on this occasion. I don't think he's anywhere to be seen. I think, no, in fact, there he is. He's actually got ahead of Ormond. So Moore is up into 9th place. He's passed Ormond as a result of all of that.
Yeah, but as you said earlier, it's so difficult to keep track of everybody in this traffic. Lopez is right there in front of Ionescu, and Sazonov has pulled up a little bit of a gap just in front.
Now Anderson tries to lap Graf, who in fact Fraser has now re-lapped Graf as a result, and I think Anderson is going to lap Graf as well, going into turn 1. So they're going to go side by side.
He's got him.
Yep, as Anderson has now lapped him, but now he's got to get back up to Fraser if he wants to have any chance of trying to take 2nd place off of Tobias Kress here.
Yeah, absolutely right. Meanwhile, on the battle between Ionescu and Lopez with lap down, can he get him towards turn 3? If he can get some cleaner for himself, that would really be beneficial.
We'll see, George. It depends on what the AI decide to do. As now Gamba unlaps himself on Blake Moore there. Not Blake Moore, sorry. He gets through on someone there. It's nearly contact there between Priachki and Adventure. As now come down the straight. Razin currently in 8th position. And is this actually a fight for position? It is. This is a fight for 7th place now.
Here goes Razin. He's got him easily. As Joe has muted himself. Meanwhile, Andrioli is being swarmed here by the pack. He's lost a couple of track positions, whether it's actual positions or just falling up down. I'm not quite sure, but he's under pressure from Shahin there. And just for Suto, who is lap ahead, is trying to put a move here. Oh, that was close to contact.
Yep, indeed.
Meanwhile, Ionescu still hasn't overtaken Franco Lopez. He's losing time. He needs to get him soon, otherwise he might not get a chance to hunt after Sazonov.
Yeah, as Ormond's got past more.
Gorby leading comfortably at the front, meanwhile Joe's back.
Yep, and I've got a new chair as well, because
Nice.
if you may remember, yesterday in qualifying, you may remember that my arm snapped off. Well, that chair has gone into the tip, and now I've got a new chair I'm sitting on right now. I was using a temporary one for a little bit during this race, but now I'm on a comfortable chair now, so at least at least my butt doesn't hurt anymore. That's going to be a plus.
Yeah, nevertheless, looks like the fight for second is heating up. Anderson quite close, but he's got Fraser to negotiate first, and he's going to go for it right here and now.
It's just surely at this time by is Anderson finally through on Fraser, because Fraser has been a nightmare for him during this part of the race to try and get a hold of Cress. He's going to go side by side going to turn 3, but it looks like Fraser might just have the edge going through into the corner, and he does. So more frustration for Anderson as Patel is struggling to lap Graf at this point.
Fraser's been a massive pain in the butt, I think, for Jess Anderson.
He has indeed, as they now make their way down the straight now then, as they now come down towards the first corner.
Yep.
As Graf has still not let Patel through at this point, so Patel probably getting a little bit frustrated, you'd have to say at this point. 6.62 now, the gap between Kirby and Cress at this point in time. Cress, you have to say, really holding up this train at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely right.
As clear my throat there, is now we go around the third corner. As they now make their way towards the final corner now. Then is Anderson going to get him this time, but he's also got to keep an eye on Graf as well at this point in time. And that could
I think
really
Fraser will get Cress at this rate.
Well, he has been just sticking behind him so far, maybe just to try and protect him so far. He hasn't really. He's tried to. He's had a little think about it, but he's not really attacked him so far from the times that we've seen him so far. Is Patel finally going to get by on Graf meanwhile as he's going to the inside?
Or not?
And no, Graf just hangs it around the outside there and stays in front.
Sazonov could be joining this train soon enough.
Yes, indeed. He's not that far away either, as you can see with the gaps on the right-hand side of your screen there.
Ionescu is just falling away from Sazonov at this rate.
Yep, as Anderson, is he going to try and go underneath this time? He thought about it, but couldn't quite get his nose in between that gap there.
No, not quite. Whatever Anderson, whatever Fraser is doing, where it's he's just doing his own thing, or he's doing it to protect Cress, I don't really know, but it's effective.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through into the final corner now then. And now on to the straight then will go Fraser. As will he try and go for Cress, or will Anderson try and go for Fraser? Let's see. He's right on the gearbox of Fraser now. Is Anderson, is he going to try and pull to the left-hand side? He thought about it, but again, Fraser just being very annoying to him at the moment, as the gap is now up to 7.72 seconds between Kirby and Cress at this point. And meanwhile, I think that's Graf coming into the pits there, and it is. So that gives Patel some breathing space.
Yeah, just a little bit. As Daniel Fraser, maybe he's going to try to unlap himself this time.
Yep. And now through into turn one we go. As is Anderson going to get him this time?
Ionescu's been overtaken in the meantime by the 71.
Yep, that's Mohamed Razin who's just gone by there. So Razin now up into that guaranteed 5th position at this point in time.
Sazonov also pitted as well.
Oh, Sazanov's been in as well. That's interesting then. Is anybody else going to pit, or did they need, or were they scheduled to do one more stop? Because if that's the case, and that puts Sazonov out of contention, nobody else is peeling to the left, I can see. So
I'm really not sure.
They may have been late pit stops as Graf is in. That's Sazonov who's coming. We just talked about that. I think theirs may have been late stops. We'll keep an eye on it though, that's for sure.
Yeah, and absolutely.
As now is in fact Fraser, is he going to get underneath Crest this time? I think he is. Is this the opening that Anderson needs? Let's see.
Cress will be stuck on the outside. He can't switch back to the inside without hitting his teammates, so Anderson could take advantage into turn 3.
Let's see as they make their way through into turn number 3. He's gone a bit wide. Can Anderson stick himself underneath? He's so close to contact as they now make their way into the final turn. And Anderson,
this is exactly what he wanted.
How can Patel find a way through as well as they come down the straight? But Anderson now up into 2nd place.
Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Very intelligent action there. As Patel will be next to Garth Cress.
Yep, indeed. As they make their way into the first few turns on the racetrack now then. As they now come towards turn at number 2. And is Patel going to try and get Cress? Let's see. He's right on the gearbox of the German driver now. Let's see what the Lamborghini driver can do.
Yeah, absolutely right. Can he get him into turn 3? He's not thinking about it. Maybe into 4 if he hugs the inside tire here.
Not quite able to get him on that occasion as they make their way now into the final corner. Maybe could he try and line him up into turn number 1 as Kirby has started lap 183 of 200. So including this lap,
he's running away with this.
We've got 18 to go in this Indy 500, and it's nearly 10 seconds the gap between 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, only a miracle could deny Jean-Pierre Kirby the win, or in his case, a curse.
Yes, as now they come out of the final turn. Looks like Anderson's starting to break away now from Tobias Kress, but still has to be annoyed with Fraser in front. He's been a bit of a thorn in his side for quite a while in this race. As now Around the final turn we go, as they now come towards the final corner, as Patel's still stuck behind Crest at the moment, but he's now right within the gearbox of the German. Let's see if he can try and go for it into turn 1.
Golden opportunity here. Let's see if we can see that. Was
Oh,
there some
there's
smoke
that
in front?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the pace car has not come out, so I don't think it's anything... Well, there is smoke, but the pace car has not been signified, so I don't know if anybody's made a mistake or not. Let's have a look. There has been smoke. Let's see. As there's the smoke there, so it's already happened. Whoever has smoked through into that corner. But either way, as we just said, it hasn't brought out the pace car, so I wonder if it was just a slide going through into the corner.
I think Kirby will be very thankful for that.
Yep. Let's see. Is there any smoke here? No smoke there. So it's happened a little bit further back. There's the smoke there. So it's obviously happened within that group, I think. So something has obviously happened within that group to cause that amount of smoke. But whatever the case, no pace car has come out, and the racing is still on as we get back to the live action. I think we're live anyway.
Absolutely.
I think we're back to the live pictures. I'm not 100% sure. There wasn't. Oh, we're back. Oh, I think we're back to live pictures.
Yeah,
anyway.
we are.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, as you can see, Patel's still stuck behind Cress at the moment with 15 laps to go, and really just struggling to get by him at this stage.
Absolutely right. Meanwhile, Mocho is going to impede some people, I think, as Blake Moore is exiting the pits.
He also, it looked like, needed to make a very late stop, as the gap is now up to 10.65 seconds.
Who else could be coming in?
Well, we'll see. But meanwhile, Cress and Patel get through on Valdinger there. Is Patel going to try and take advantage of that? I don't think he is. He's
Let's go back into 5th place, so has Razit pitted?
He has, I think.
I think Razin is the number 76, so he's down in... No, he's not. He's 71. So, yeah, I think Razin has made a late pit stop as well. So, he's out of the top 10 as well. So, it looked like he needed to make a late pit stop in this race as well. So, very interesting stuff here. That is for sure. But we'll have to wait and see what the rest of the pack are going to do, if anybody else needs to make a late pit stop or not. But I should expect that most of them should be going to the end of the race, if I'm not mistaken.
Nathan Ormond might be pitting because I'm not so sure, actually, in the number 4.
We'll keep an eye on the number 4 in these next few laps or so and see if the number 4 starts to tumble down in the top 10. If not, then he could be looking good for a 6th place finish here, but we'll wait and see on that.
Yeah, we will.
Meanwhile, coming around the final corner, as now we can see that Patel is trying to look to the inside now of Cress. Is this the moment he needs to get himself onto the podium? Down the inside he goes, but Cress covers the inside off. And
as Willis is trying to go around the outside here.
Yep, as they're now coming up to lap Michael Mocho, it seems. So could this be the opening that Patel needs here?
Might very well be, depending where Mocho lets them go. And if he lets them go into turn 3, that could be a little troublesome for whoever gets going on the outside. Cress wants to make sure that's not him.
He's now going to the inside now, and Cress gets through.
Patel's going on the outside. This is pretty bad.
Yeah, this is... Oh, in fact, he's trying to go around the outside here with Cress. It'd be a brilliant move if he pulls this off, but it's not
just didn't have the space to make it work. Cress remains in front, but now the other back markers are going to make their way past Patel.
Yep, and this is not going to please Patel one bit at all. He's going to be fuming in that cockpit right now, as this is just going to allow Cress to get away.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think Patel might be a little disappointed with that, as Jonska's lost a couple of places. Wojciechowski is up in 5th place.
Yep, as... yes, he is. He's up into 5th place. He's down to 7th, is Ionescu. Orman in 6th. So Ionescu's lost a couple of places. Meanwhile, looks like there's a big scrap going on there for 5th position, as Patel is just dropping back even more. This is just going to frustrate him even more. It's nearly contact there with Blake Moore. I think that was Moore, in fact, because I think he said Lotus on the side. So,
right. Okay.
So, yeah, that was very close. But we've got 11 laps to go, so on lap 190 of 200. And so far, Kirby is really running away with it at the moment.
Yeah, for now it is. And let's hope for his sake he can hold on to this win. Meanwhile, Moore is the one who was impeding Patel, yes.
Was, yes, and this will not...
There's really dropping pace. He'll be chased by Wojciechowski soon.
Indeed, as Patel really struggling to get through these back markers at the moment, as Willows now gets through on Mocho himself as he follows Patel along.
Yep, indeed.
And to go in this race now, then in this Indy 500, as we're on lap 191 off 200, there is Ormond as he's trying to
Darting to the left, is he gonna come in or not? Shahin
no,
now
I
has
think
overtaken Esco. Ormond is still pushing.
I think they were just negotiating traffic there. But anyway, it's Chow China currently in 9th position, but he has got Enis Parachki right behind him in their fight for 9th position. They've got all this traffic to deal with, and they've also got Razin behind. So in fact, I think Razin hasn't pitted. I think he just lost some places, it seems, because there he is. He's right behind Parachki.
But it says he's in 24th, is he? No, he's in 19th.
Oh, he is a lap down, so I do apologise there. But
yeah, he did
anyway.
pit.
Anyway, so Razin trying to unlap himself with these fresher tyres. 9 laps to go for Kirby.
Yeah, indeed. Razin overtakes Parachki there. Gamba trying to do the same. He's done it.
Yep, but that's not for position though. So Parachki's still in the top 10. I'm not sure who's P11 on the track at the moment. We'll have to keep an eye on that one really and see what sort of gap it is between Parachki and whoever it is in P11 at the moment as they all make their way through into the first corner there as they now make their way towards turn number 2 on the racetrack. 12 seconds is now the gap between Kirby and Anderson at this point, as Anderson has pulled 3 seconds now on Tobias Kress, as Tobias Kress is under 3 seconds at a Patel because of all that traffic we saw a little bit earlier. Lap 193 now for Joe Pedro did what Rob did earlier on there, and we've got 8 laps to go.
Yeah, this race is almost finished. Now look,
that's
smoke! Caution, surely.
Oh, because Gomez, I think, has saved it. I think. Is there a yellow out somewhere? Trying to see the nearest marshal post. I couldn't see that because it was away from us there. But it looks like I don't think the caution has come out. So I think we might have just got himself lucky there. But it might have been maybe just a... He has bent his front wing a little bit, though, as you can see. And it was contact with Jose Frederic Suto.
Dear God, what was that all about?
However, luckily though, I think he might have survived that. So, because he didn't spin. So, I think there's no pace car as a result. They're all going still at racing speeds.
Yeah, but Gomez, I think he's gonna need a new pair of pants after this race.
Oh!
Another crash! Another contact, sorry. He's definitely got damage.
Well, that was the same car. That was Gomez as well. So, he's definitely being bullied around at the moment, is Gomez. But he's still going out there.
No, he's not diving into the pit, sorry.
He's not diving into the pits, he's still going. So he's really getting bullied around.
Well, Jurkis has gone up to Patel.
Is he now? Yes, he has. The gap is now shrunk. There's a battle for 4th position going on between Patel and Vujiukas. There he is.
And don't forget Ormond and maybe Ionescu could join the party as well.
I'll have to wait and see on that. But they're around the final turn now. Then let's see what Vujiukas can do then on Rahul Patel. As they now make their way down the straight, is Vujiukas going to grab 4th place off the Lamborghini drivers that go side by side into the first corner. Danny inside goes the Greek driver. Has he got the move done in the Coca-Cola machine? And yes, he has. Up into 4th place goes Vanos Vujiukas.
That was brilliant. Willows is also there.
He's also a lap down, so that's not going to affect Patel's position regardless. But he could help out in trying to bring Ormond close and even Ionescu. But at the moment, Ionescu is a little bit far back from Ormond at the moment. There he is, and he's actually going fighting with Suto at the moment, who did cause that little collision with Gomez there. Here comes Suto on the inside.
Ionescu really struggling for grip for some reason. That tire call, for some reason, was wrong.
Suto is up into 7th position as a result. Ionescu down to 8th as Razin puts a lap there on Michael Mocho for the meantime now then.
I think Ionescu is really regretting that pit stop he made. He was leading the race. Why did he pit?
Who knows, really? Maybe he just didn't have enough fuel to go to the end of the race. I don't know. But anyway, 5 to go for Joe Pedro Kirby, meanwhile.
Yeah, he is taking a very comfortable victory. Just needs to bring it home nice and tight.
Yep, as it's going to be 4 laps to go very soon. There you go, 197 of 200. So 4 to go for Joe Pedro Kirby at this point in time.
Yeah, indeed.
There goes Gambu, he goes underneath of Wee there. I'm not sure if that was for position or not, but he's got underneath him regardless, as he's now going to lap Mocho himself there as they go around the final corner.
Yep, Mocho just not been his day whatsoever. But I wonder if Ormond might have a shot at Patel.
As they now come down the straight now then, as Hamid is trying his best to get a hold. I think that's Parrish in front. I think that might be for position. I'm not sure. As Cress now comes underneath and laps. Not sure who's trying to lap there. I think it might be Adventure who's trying to lap. No, that's Blake Moore, in fact, because it says Lotus on the side. So even I'm getting them confused. In fact, look at that. Fujiyuka is actually not far away from Cress. Look at this. We could have a battle for third.
That's absolutely incredible pace from the Greek driver.
So Cress is getting held up very much by this traffic. This could help Fujiyukas get onto the final podium place here.
But is he running out of time?
Who knows, really? They've got they've just started their lap 198 right now, so he's got 3 laps in which to get Cress.
Ormond's almost got Patel in the meantime.
Indeed so, as they come down the straight now then, as pretty soon, I think Kirby will be starting the penultimate lap of the race, which he has done, so 2 to go for the race leader.
Yeah, it may be boring at the front, but he's still got some action over here as Vojokas is getting higher. He wants to be on that podium.
He's definitely getting closer and closer now. Cress is having trouble trying to negotiate that traffic. I think he could get him on this lap, it's just where he's going to get him.
He's not going to have a lot of chances, though.
They go around the first corner. Look at that. He had to brake quite early there because Cress was thinking about trying to lap more. They're probably getting a little bit impatient. And now it's put Fujiyukas right onto his gearbox.
But they're also under massive threat from Nate Ormond. That could be very entertaining to watch. But you have to look at Vojokas with his massive pace advantage. I don't even know where that came from. But alas, what's going to come from now is a move.
They're going to go for it? I don't think so. He's going to hang back for the moment as Kirby has started the final lap of the race.
There have been 1,000 laps in GP4OC Indy 500 history, and I hope this isn't the last one of them, but we are on that lap 1000, the elusive lap 1000 of Indy 500 history, and João Pedro Kirby has dominated not just this entire last stint, but much of this race. This is going to be a very, very well-deserved victory, and all he has to do is bring it home. Don't crash like Jalen Hildebrand is.
Roman's up to 5th, meanwhile. Just thought I'd
He's overtaken Patel, yeah. But now we have to jump to Dudu Kirby, not Dudu Kirby's relative, João Pedro Kirby, nice save there, who's going to drink the milk and kiss the bricks because he's an Indy 500 winner.
Well done, JP Kirby. He's the 5th different Indy 500 winner and fully deserved, really. He made that stint work and a dominant display for the Brazilian driver. And a World Champ Car driver as well wins this race as well. So
yeah, absolutely great stuff.
Anderson P2, good result for him there indeed. As we're just trying to see what's going on about for third, and Cress just holds on.
Yeah, he just about beats Vojokas. Ormond takes before he denies Patel that top 5 finish, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Ormond P5, so he's guaranteed into the 500 next season, providing he signs up. Patel 6th, then it is Suto in 7th, followed by Ionescu in 8th, and then it is the number 76 who finishes in 9th position, who I can't remember off the life of me who that is. But we'll get through the results anyway. Anyway, here are the final results.
Yeah, João Pedro Kirby wins in a quite dominant fashion. I wish the fight for the win was a little longer towards the end, but it was fun nevertheless. Julius Anderson takes 2nd with Tobias Cress 3rd. Thanos Vojokas with a brilliant charge for P4. Nathan Ormond P5. He was almost a lap down, but thanks to a pace car, he got into the top 4. That just shows you never want to give up. Rahul Patel into the top 5, Rahul Patel P6, which was first to P7, Robert Ionescu P8, Feng Chao China P9. Those are actually all the drivers on the lead lap. And his Parashki P10 is the last one on the lead lap.
Indeed, so. Where did you get up to? Sorry, I was reading the chat there, sorry.
I read the top 10.
Okay, so Daniel Fraser is in P11 with Will Parrish in 12th. Then it is Mohammed Usman Hamid who finished in 13th. Joseph Willows a disappointing 14th with Andrei Sazonov in 15th. Then it is Mohamed Razin in 16th. Halil Shahin in 17th, followed by Xavier Wei in 18th. Dominic DeCelli is in 19th with Franco Lopez 20th. Santino Andrioli is in 21st with Gabriel Gomez 22nd. Blake Moore 23rd. Daniel Adventure 24th with Maxim Titkov 25th. Dennis Graff in 26th. And you can do the rest, Ra.
Yeah, Franco Gamba in finished 27th with Michael Mocho in 28th. Lynn Capone in 29th, and Ben Vardinger rounds off the finishers in 30th. And the non-finishers are Florian Volker, Bottas Gloss, Janta Nortons, Armor Carr, Thomas Cassidy, Bella Newview, Evan Byrne, Zachary Fitzroy, Jake Tilsley, Adam Wolf, Simon Mika, and Samet Oscar.
I believe the fastest lap went to João Pedro Kirby, if I'm not mistaken. So,
yes.
Yeah, a little bit
not
of a
like it matters anyway, but yeah, just for happiness. I guess. He was on the front row. He took victory and he took the fastest lap. Didn't quite get the pole position, but
Yep, I
aside
am
from that, he
correct.
got everything he could have.
Yep, I am correct. It was Kirby who got the fastest lap.
Well, he'll be very, very happy with that. Very dominant victory. And let's talk about this race, guys, because we had some very, very entertaining action. I think one of the defining moments was that pit stop for the first caution because it shook up the field massive. It brought people who were at the back in contention. Ines Patel staying at the top 10 all the way to the finish.
Yeah, and well, it was quite an interesting race, it's fair to say. Obviously, we didn't have the traffic that we had last season to affect the result in the end. And yeah, we will try and wrap it up as quick as we can, Yuri. But yeah, overall a good race, and Kirby, fully deserved winner.
Yeah, absolutely right. I'm very happy for him. I wish I could have had a shot to win. I led the race for a little bit, but even though I dropped back towards the end, I didn't finish top 5. I got P8, happy with that. And I feel bad for he couldn't get to top 5, I'm afraid. But yeah, we need to be quick about it because he has to sleep.
Anyway, that has been it for the 2021 Indy 500. I think it is fair to say that we're probably going to get another. I think that this is probably not going to be the last because I think this has been a bit of a success. It was a bit of a concern, but I think it has been a success. So hopefully we will see this again next season.
Yeah, no national anthem for this one, but thank you very, very much, guys, for tuning in. We had to wait for this one. We had to wait a full week. Thankfully, it wasn't canceled and did not disappoint. And I'm very happy to say, hopefully, see you for the next one.
Bye.
Bye.